Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom to the worldwide family. Peaceful Sabbath day, y'all, as we get about our Abba's business, as we become, y'all, or a part of one day closer to Holy Jerusalem.
Amen.
All praises to the Most High.
All praises. All right, family, we're going to get this opening prayer, and it is with the Most High's permission, and it's in the name of his only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior, and our Redeemer, Yahushua HaMashiach. And we know him around these parts as Jesus the Christ.
Yes.
Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 13th chapter, it reads, "How long wilt thou forget me, O Yahweh? Forever? How long wilt thou hide thy face from me? How long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart daily? How long shall my enemy be exalted over me? Consider and hear me, O Master, my Elohim. Lighten mine eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death. Lest mine enemies say, I have prevailed against him. And those that trouble me rejoice when I am moved. But I have trusted in thy mercy. Yes. My heart shall rejoice in thy salvation. Yes. I will sing unto the Most High, because he hath dealt bountifully with me. Yes. Hallelujah! All right, y'all.
Shalom, family, y'all. We're running a bit late. We're seriously on African American time. Formerly known as, well, I ain't gonna say. Let's just keep it moving. Yeah. CP time. Yes, sir. But today's lesson, y'all, the book of Daniel and John, the Revelators.
Come on.
We focus pretty good though, right? We focus, okay. So Daniel and John, the Revelators, y'all, and we're going to back up with another Revelator in the beginning of time before the flood, named Enoch. So we're going to read a few chapters between these three brothers. John is not the John the Baptist or who wrote the book of John, but we're talking about John, the man on the island of Patmos. So these revelators all spoke the same language before the flood, in the middle after the flood, during the Babylonian captivity, and after the Messiah, to inform us of the same gospel or good news. The Messiah coming back to fix what Adam and Eve broke.
That's right.
And that's righteousness within eternity. So y'all, we want to get at that. We're going to get some good understanding today.
What's the name of the lesson?
The name of the lesson is Daniel and John, the Revelators.
Yes.
So we want to just look up that word revelator and just get some understanding for us, if you will, Brother Ariel. Revelator, and that's to reveal, but he'll get it at the word for it. And y'all, we're going to jump right into this due to the fact that the 110.4 is exploding all around us, y'all. Itchy ear doctrine is at an all-time high. The script say witchcraft shall abound. If you go on Netflix right now, any movie you see about paranormal or witchcraft, they got 3 or 4 rows of newly released film on witchcraft, on the supernatural, on paranormal, so to speak. Countless videos out there We just have to match up the time with the script and point out to people where it'll prosper so you don't expect anything different. You got a lot of Israelite groups out here now trying to take Esau's kingdom from him. Most High say, I'm going to take his kingdom from him in due time.
That's right.
But his kingdom going to run as long as I told his leader it would run. We can't leapfrog the Most High's time, how long he going to have a nation rule.
Right.
Because it's for our benefit that it runs the time. He said, because those nations would come against us and say, your God didn't keep his word. Y'all, if you don't think that's true, that's what the demons asked the Messiah when he cast them demons out of that boy. They said, are you come to torment us before the time? He said, that's a herd of swine right there, go jump in there. Now y'all know it was a herd of sheep somewhere too, right? So, you know how people get, they make you love deviled ham, because that's what happened to them herd of swine. Came deviled ham, didn't it?
Right.
So we got any questions out there too, but I know we're a little bit behind and we're going to get it going. We ain't got Zay up here, so we're going to miss a lot of all that old talking.
Right.
And interrupting.
Now on here, Merriam-Webster on the Google.
That's all we need.
Yeah, it says revelator definition and meaning is in the Merriam-Webster, but I didn't see it. And it says the meaning of revelator is one that reveals.
One that does what?
Reveal.
See, and that's what we're talking about, revealing, because we got this last day doctrine, these itchy ear doctrines out here that's adding to and taking away from the holy word.
Right.
Y'all, we read, it is finished. And what that means is everything written that's already written is finished. There's nothing else can be added to it. Right. There's no new revelators out there because the Bible would have spoke of them. And the three men we're dealing with, Enoch, Daniel, and John, all had the same exact messages. Enoch had the same message we're going to read before the flood. Because Adam transgressed before the flood. But we still being born because of that, right?
Yeah.
So the flood didn't change anything. It only gave us a fresh start toward the fix. A fresh start. And Satan was right there to corrupt that right off the bat too. Caught Noah tripping. And y'all, that level of fornication right after being saved, and Ham's offspring Canaan getting that land that was already promised to him, getting off the ark, that level of fornication is what we read all throughout Leviticus 18 through 20th chapters about fornication, because he was born and created in through wickedness coming through salvation. And that's what Satan is trying to do. Repeat what happened in the Garden of Eden every time salvation comes. Soon as we come through the Red Sea, salvation was right there. We got saved out of Egypt, and he was right there with that music, that golden calf, more and some short skirts.
No doubt. Yeah, the rest of that Revelator said, especially one that reveals the will of Yah.
One that does what?
Reveals the will of Yah.
Y'all, and that's what we're talking about. If somebody's revealing the will of the Most High, it will be his laws, statutes, and judgments. It won't be no new doctrine. It won't be no doctrine, Shalom Theo, that only this individual know and nobody else knows. Y'all, it's going to be the same doctrine. Too bad, if you will, what are those two scripts? Don't add or take away.
That was Revelations 22, 18, and 19, and Deuteronomy, I want to say 7, 4, and 2.
So we'll go directly to Deuteronomy first, and then we'll go right. What was that, Deuteronomy what? 2 by?
4 and 2.
We'll go to Deuteronomy 4 and 2. Y'all, and we have to stand on this, y'all. You cannot be persuaded to question this holy manuscript. At least be fair to your own soul. You can't trouble your soul like the psalm he just read. Trouble with the counsel within my soul. See, it wasn't the counsel of another man. It's what's going through your mind trying to figure out, is this the truth or is it not? That individual said it ain't the truth no more, and he used to be really down in this. So because he fell off, you contemplate, should you fall off? And you see what's at stake here is the soul. Turn that fan just a little bit that way. It's blowing this.
You sure that is not this one, is it?
No, that's good. You ain't got to turn it all the way around. Yeah. Okay, so y'all. So to understand that, y'all, because of this itchy ear doctrine and people looking out in the universes and different things, they're not keeping up with the kings of these nations, and they got to come crashing down. Mm-hmm. This is going to destroy all that plan. If you change your life to go living out in the universe, this is still going to be from beginning to end like it was written and like it was prophesied about.
That's right.
Ain't no new booty doctrine going to change this. And if somebody is coming with a lost book, those laws, statutes, and judgments should be exactly the same.
Exactly.
And the books we study from prove it to be. Because it's our only measuring stick, y'all. Somebody talking about new doctrine from somewhere else and a new prophet. If those laws don't line up, you put it down.
So see, that's the thing.
Let me just say this, bro. If you having a problem in your soul in the counsel that psalm he read, you owe it to yourself to scratch holy off or put a piece of tape on it till you come to your senses. Because how you gonna tell somebody to believe every word of it and there's doubt dwelling in your belly?
Exactly.
Heavy in your belly.
Right. And what I was gonna say was that people have been trying to discredit the Messiah since he walked the earth.
Yes, sir.
You understand? And of course, other people have written books along the way to discredit him, but then other people didn't pay those books any attention, but you have some people who do pay those books some attention, and then they try to discredit him to other people who already give him credit. And you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. What you're saying is because they're trying to discredit it because the law, statute, and judgment discredits them. Mm-hmm. And the script says if they only acknowledge their transgression, but they want to make everybody believe, well, I did this for the Lord. No, you didn't. Right. If you did, you would quote just like the prophets. Do to them as you did unto this person.
Exactly.
Lord, protect me like you protected that person about this. Because his law, statutes, and judgments are not grievous.
Not at all.
If you got yourself caught up in anything and it's law related, if your soul is in trouble, if it's having tossing and flipping of the pillow, then you've been listening to some itchy ear doctrine. And you need to get with the Father who says, this is how we pray. Go in your closet and say, what's wrong and what's going on in my soul, doctor? Dr. Father, shalom, Thomas.
Shalom, Thomas.
Let's get it, y'all. So we're going to get right to this ad and taken away again, y'all. We're going to see it in the law, and we're going to see it in the end of the matter as well. What is saying that Deuteronomy chapter 4?
In verse 2.
Yeah, verse 2. And we're going to get that Revelation.
Chapter 22 and 18. And
yes, sir.
Reading in the book of Deuteronomy. Chapter 4. Start the reading in verse 2.
Yes, sir.
Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you.
What shall you not do?
Add to the word which I command you.
Right.
Neither shall ye diminish aught from it. So
when you hear somebody say anything, about taking, adding, or delete anything out of the Bible,
right,
or it should be something added that was left out, then the law must be within that new document, and it must line up. Y'all, don't be tricked when you hear people talking about the disciples didn't agree.
Right.
The disciples had issues with one another about the law being trampled upon. But it was never an argument about the law itself. It was behavior that they were going at one another about. Hey, you clowning like this, you know that ain't how we get down.
Right.
According to this. And they would acknowledge it. But every argument, you want to put Paul down, go to Acts 24 and Acts 28, where Paul said, everything I done was from the law and from the prophets. So it would be their job just to point out a law and a prophet going against what Paul is saying. Because those words are directly from the Most High. Paul having a squabble with Peter or Bartholomew or something like that, that's not what the Bible is talking about. They're not revelators.
Right.
They received the revelation.
Exactly.
What you got back there, Thomas? Shalom, John.
1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 1.
What it say?
Dare any of you having a matter against another go to law before the unjust and not before the saints?
See, a matter with the law with outsiders out there.
Right.
You can't do it because you make it question truth. And that's the worst thing you can do to an individual is make him question truth. It's like we're stuck under this court system.
Right.
If you're being charged with a crime, we ain't got no Hebrew court system. We can say, no, look here, Joe Biden, we're going to take this up at the Hebrew courts. This matter right here. If you let somebody convince you that that's possible, you crazier than they are.
Yep.
So we ain't gonna believe what that Revelation say now. 22 and what?
22 and 18.
What it say?
The book of Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, Yah shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, Yah shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book.
So, y'all, that's a problem if you listen to somebody and they make you question the Bible to add and take away. If you start adding and taking away, that means you're removing things that's pleasant so it'll make it more pleasant for your soul. But we just read, if you do that, your name will be taken out of the book of life.
Right.
Look, y'all, our whole objective is not to get your name blotted out. It's already in there. It's if he take it out, it's going to be a problem. So y'all know how we do it. Our high priest, Yeshua, locally known as Jesus the Christ, the high priest of the Most High after the order of Melchizedek, the one and only high priest, everlasting priesthood.
That's right.
Where the law is exhibited both male, female, rich and poor, free and bond, y'all. Y'all, the scripts say it's finished. See, and when it's finished don't mean how you read a book and throw it on the shelf. You can't say this book is finished in your mind because you claim you've read it from cover to cover. How you read the prophecies and they ain't happened yet and say you finished?
You understand?
No, what's finished is what will be added to it. You can't add anything else to it. Because then you make it be finished like you want to. Right. And it'll finish in your generation. Ain't that something? And the Antichrist ain't got here yet. And y'all already got another finish line. Let's get it, y'all. Daniel 7th chapter. Y'all, we're going to tie this in with a little revelation because we got a lot of people out there saying this will be the last president. Oh, with what's happening over there in the Ukraine, this could be the deal. But we have to stick with what's written, the prophecy in this book. He say the last king, I'm going to hit him on his feet with that stone, that statue. And it's going to come tumbling down, y'all. We have to stick with the scripture, even if we look and say, y'all, That may be 200 years away. We're going to be dead. We have to still stick with it and prepare your heart for death.
Here's the patience of the saints.
That's the patience of the saints, bro.
And it's funny you saying about the stones, like them Georgia guy stones. You don't know who blew them up or what.
Yeah.
They just went on and tore them on up when they tore them down.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking, why don't they just replace the one or two that was damaged? It's the whole thing gone now.
Yeah.
And it's Russian warships off the coast of Japan right now.
Well,
Think about that.
so y'all, we got to be careful that when we hear wars and rumors of wars, that we keep it in its perspective and in its right location.
All right, family, we're going to be reading in the book of Daniel, chapter 7. And we're going to start the reading in verse 1. Everybody
Yes, sir.
there? And it reads, in the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon,
Yes, sir.
Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream.
What did he do?
He wrote the dream and told the sum of the matter.
So we always see these prophets following the law.
Right.
It say when you dream a dream, I have a vision of the Most High. The Most High say write it down.
That's right.
Mark it down. So it be held a witness against you if you say this is from the Most High. It's date, time, and hour. You see how this is describing where he had the dream at, and when he wrote it down, and what he saw. Because we have to be very careful with the communication and how we receive in our communication. If somebody's have you receiving communication through esoteric isms, from fat belly preacher isms, we need to follow the rules. If he say, you know, the Lord spoke to me last night, church. Thank you, brother. Church, and I just want to reveal what he did. It should be asked, did you write it down? Did you write that down so we can hold it as a witness against you? But what you may get is some dirty looks from the mother sitting up there. How dare he asked the preacher if he wrote it down? You can ask him that. Ain't that what the scripture said?
Right.
If men question the Most High about his will,
Yeah.
for the sake of understanding, why would you question a man?
Right, and it's about your soul.
Right.
Good, John?
Okay.
We good?
Yeah, so I want you to hold that just so we can keep up with our rules. Give me a little bit of that Sirach 34, 1 through 8. Y'all can also get in some Deuteronomy 18, some Deuteronomy 13, but we just want to get right to some good understanding of Sirach. And then you get into your Deuteronomy 18, Deuteronomy 13 about dreams, and that's how he say, that's how I communicate with you. We see what Saul happened to him when he tried to go through another communicator.
Right.
You can't call the Most High from the devil's phone. That's terrible, ain't it? The devil pick up the phone because the Most High answer. Satan, where you been to and fro in the earth? By the way, I got a call for you from one of your servants. He on my phone.
Right.
And he had the phone to the Most High. Who is this? Lord, you wouldn't reach back out to me, so you go through the devil?
And you on his phone?
And you on his phone. It'd be like that prayer is supposed to be, how long, Lord, before you speak to me again? Keep asking. He may tell you another week, another 2 years, but keep on holding on.
Right.
It's like when your parents send you to the room, they say, don't come out there till I come and get you. You open the door, how much longer? What I tell you?
Close that door.
Close that door. I'll let you know when you can come out of there. Let's get some more. Where we at? Sirach 34, 1 through 8.
Sirach chapter 34, verse 1.
Yes, sir.
The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false.
Y'all see that? The hopes of a man void of understanding. Y'all, if y'all don't understand his communication process, is vain. That's a false hope because it have you chasing the wind.
Right.
Go ahead.
And dreams lift up fools. Whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth at a shadow.
Right.
And followeth after the wind. The vision of dreams is the resemblance of one thing to another.
Right.
Even as the likeness of a face to a face.
Right.
Of an unclean thing, what can be cleansed? And from that thing which is false, what truth can come?
If this is false, how you gonna get some truth? How you gonna tell somebody to trust it?
Right.
And you're saying it's false. What truth can come from it?
None.
Yo, you got to make up your mind if you're gonna be in or out.
Right.
You can't straddle the fence. What
Hot
he say,
or
like,
cold. He said hot or cold.
can't be lukewarm.
Can't be lukewarm.
Can't ride the fence.
No fence riding.
Riding the fence, put a gap between your legs, and people see you coming. They say you're fence ride.
Yeah. Because you're double-minded.
Yeah.
And unstable in all your ways.
What else it say?
Verse 5.
Yeah.
Divination.
What?
Divination.
And that's what we talked about. Deuteronomy 18th chapter. Start off about divinations. And let you know that we see we're still on the same path. You see how we on the same path with the instructions of dreams? Divinations in there, ain't it?
Yep.
Right.
And that's about dealing or communicating with the supernatural. Go ahead.
And soothsaying.
And what?
Soothsaying. And dreams are vain. And the heart fancieth as a woman's heart in travail. If they be not sent from the Most High.
If they what?
If they be not sent from the Most High in thy visitation. Set not thy heart upon them.
See, that's the key to all of this. Because it'll lift up and have you thinking the wrong understanding. Y'all, we have to make sure it's from the Most High. He said, how you do that, go in your closet.
That's right.
And I'll tell you what it is, so you won't be looking in the jet centerfold for the answers. Your horoscope. Yeah. Boy,
Because they also had horoscopes tied with those photos.
yeah, it did.
See, they know
Libra.
they know how to get Israel.
Yeah.
In the middle of the magazine, along with the photo, is astrology.
Yeah. So to get you both spiritual and physical in the thought process. That's what they want you to think about. But you ain't thinking about the law of the law.
You ain't going in, you're not thinking about righteousness.
Right, you looking at how can I divine with a soothsayer to get the centerfold.
Yeah, and not only that, you're looking into your astrology to see if you're compatible with what you see.
Uh-oh.
Is that why you over there talking about law?
Yeah. Or I'm a Libra, she a Libra.
Yeah.
We both a Libra.
And you gonna be Libra.
Go ahead, brother.
Divinations and soothsayings and dreams are vain. Heart fancieth as a woman's heart in travail. If they be not from the Most High, in thy visitation set not thy heart upon them. For dreams have deceived many.
What have they done?
Deceived many. And they have failed that put their trust in them. The law.
What?
The law shall be found perfect without lie.
What shall it be found?
Perfect without lie. And wisdom is perfection to a faithful mouth.
See, wisdom, because the law gives you wisdom. And it brings about perfection
That's right.
of the mouth. So what comes out of your mouth must be truth.
Right.
Whether it's you, it's hurting you as well. If you doing a crime and you read past it and read somebody else's crime, you ain't fooling the Most High.
No.
You don't want to face up to it. You have to read it.
You find an excuse for your own wickedness.
It'll help your soul.
That's right. Don't they say the truth hurts?
Yeah, it hurts.
But it also sets you free. Free
It
from
hurts
your
so
wickedness.
good. It hurts so good. It's like you tell your parents, them whoopings, they hurt so bad when you first gave them to me.
But now
that I'm old, they hurt so good.
Yeah, you
because
respect
I
them.
learned from them.
Right. Right. Put me on the right path.
On the
Even
right
though
path.
I made bad decisions, I was set back on the right path. By those that discipline, that chastisement.
Jump down to verse 16 while we there in this same, and go down to verse 21 if you will.
Okay. Verse 16.
Yeah.
For the eyes of the Most High are upon them that love him.
See, and he say, if you love me, do what?
My commandments.
See, if you ain't keeping his commandments, ain't no need, and his eyes ain't even looking towards your way.
Right.
Let's read some more.
So how does he love everyone?
Yeah,
There's conditions to the love of the Most High.
that's right.
You're right. Be obedient and he'll love you.
Right.
Disobedient is going the other way.
Yeah.
And rebellion is like witchcraft.
Yeah,
Verse 16.
yeah.
For the eyes of the Most High are upon them that love him.
Uh-huh.
He is their mighty protection and strong state.
See, look, he's better than Protection One. He's better than ADT.
What?
They still have to contact somebody else if somebody breaking your house.
That's right.
Hey, this ADT, somebody in your house. What I'm paying you for? Ain't you got some people in the trunk?
Right, somebody in the neighborhood.
So y'all ain't got your good protection.
Right.
Y'all faulty.
I'm just paying you to tell me somebody in my state.
I could have drove up to the house and said,
Right. Go ahead, bro.
16 again.
Yeah, if
For
you
the-
want true defense, go ahead,
That's
like.
right. For the eyes of the Most High are upon them that love him.
Right.
He is their mighty protection and strong state. A defense from heat.
What is he a defense from?
Heat.
Uh-huh.
And a cover from the sun at noon.
The hottest time of the day, y'all, between 12 noon and 2 p.m. Those are the time where your parents told you, it's too hot outside.
Yeah.
Don't go out, it's too hot. Y'all, it's a time to where it can be too hot. We're trying to study and hopefully that the Most High have us mercy on us where we get in a temperature controlled environment called the kingdom.
That's right.
Temperature's perfect all day round. All the time is perfect temperature.
Perfect.
Let's get some more license.
A preservation from stumbling. And an help from falling. He raised up the soul and lighteth the eyes. Lighteth the eyes. He giveth help, life, and blessing. He that sacrificeth of a thing wrongfully gotten, his offering is ridiculous.
What is his offering?
Ridiculous.
You think you can fool the Most High? You offering up books, bread that don't satisfy? The Most High say it's ridiculous.
Right.
I like to watch that show called Ridiculousness. And you see some crazy things where people put their soul on the line for. You just look and you say it's ridiculous. You trying to offer up some doctrine of demons and devils, the Most High say it's ridiculous. Get way round here.
They think you gonna get a blessing from him
Boy.
with that foolishness.
That's like offering a blood sacrifice with a stolen animal.
Boy, look here, boy.
Or bringing the pimp money into the offering.
Yeah.
The price of a whore, the price of a dog.
Say that again, Elijah.
The price of a whore or the price of a dog.
Right. Don't bring that bad money. Might as well keep it. Go ahead, where we at, bro?
Verse 18 again.
Yeah.
He that sacrifices
Oh, sorry.
of a thing wrongfully gotten, his offering is ridiculous. And the gifts of unjust men are not accepted.
What are they?
Not accepted. The Most High is not pleased with the offerings of the wicked. Neither is he pacified for sin by the multitude of sacrifices.
You can't fool them. You can't kill all the turtle doves on planet Earth. It ain't gonna do nothing for your soul. Because the script say, if you acknowledge your transgressions, he is able to forgive you of them.
Right.
But you can't offer up somebody else for your transgression. No, you can't. There's one that did that already. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 20.
Yeah.
Whoso bringeth an offering of the goods of the poor doeth as one that killeth the son before his father's eyes.
Oh, boy.
That's terrible.
The bread of the needy is their life. He that defrauded him thereof is a man of blood.
See, he's a man of blood, y'all. When we're talking about the needy and the poor, we're talking about in spirit first. You trick somebody new into this word and destroy their soul, Most High got it out for you.
Oh, because you use his word of righteousness deceitfully.
Deceitfully. Right. And look, and this is what we're talking about. It's tampered with, but I know how to prove the parts that ain't tampered with.
Right.
Don't make any sense.
No.
Ridiculous.
What you got?
There it is. Ridiculous.
What it say?
Psalm 140, verse 11. Let not an evil speaker be established in the earth.
Yeah.
Evil shall hunt the violent man to overthrow him.
Right. And see, y'all, this word say, the Most High say, stand on the rooftop and shout to
That's
God.
right.
That's right.
Not whispering.
Ain't no shame.
Whispering nothing.
Nothing's in darkness against the violent. You know that law, the dietary law, there's some fault in it. I found out some things through my research.
Right.
Come on now.
Only I know. You know, they even say we didn't start growing molars until after Adam's transgression.
Boy, who said that?
They said we didn't start growing molars until after the transgression of Adam. We didn't have molars before his transgression because we only ate plants and fruits. So,
Well, front teeth can't make it pub.
man, it's just, I'm just saying.
See, but that's the doctrine that's out there when you want to believe a lie and believe the way it's going. When it say Adam was created like the Most High, if he eat meat, then where did his molars come from?
Right.
Let's read some more, y'all. Let's get right back to the book of Daniel, chapter 7. Y'all, we're going to run 7. We're going to run 10 and 12 of Daniel. We may have to give a little homework out. And we want to get into Revelation 13th chapter through 16th chapter. And they're going to line up perfectly. Because the name of the class is Daniel and John, the Revelators, or the revealing of prophecy. When Daniel wrote this, he was writing this for our time as well because he knew it's a dual prophecy. Yeah. It's for both Babylon. And when you're talking about Babylon, it's just, it may be a location, but the system is exactly the same. That's what people have to understand. It ain't about so much location, it's about who's using what system.
The doctrine and the system,
Yeah.
the belief system, because it all started in Shinar with Nimrod.
Yeah.
That whole system started with Nimrod, the first attempt at a new world order.
Right. Called Babel.
Babel.
Where the tongues were separated. So it got us chasing like it's a physical place, like America is called Babylon because it's using that system. You call what system you're using, Shalom AZ?
Shalom, brother.
It's like people when they saw the disciples, they say, y'all them Christ followers. First at Antioch.
Right.
It was because of what they were speaking.
And the miracles they did, they were doing exactly what Christ, their leader, was doing.
Right.
So they like, man, they just like that dude.
Them Christ followers.
Right.
But even before then, they were saying the same about the prophets who came before Christ in the flesh.
That's right.
They represent that same spirit.
Yeah.
That system. That Melchizedek system that was here before mankind.
And y'all see the system we talking about, that image they saw. When you get into chapter 1 of this, we're just in chapter 7. It said it had a head of brass. It had a head of this. Since Satan likes to masquerade as an angel of light, but he's the devil, he's trying to mimic the same armor that the Most High have on. A helmet of salvation. But his is about his kingdom that they only last so long, then they perish.
Yes.
And then the final one will perish.
And they translate from hand to hand
Yes,
because
sir.
of the disobedience of those kingdoms. And you'll read that in Sirach chapter 10.
That's right. Let's get it.
Our reading in the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 2.
Yeah.
Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, And behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea. And four great beasts came up from the sea.
Right.
Diverse one from another.
The beasts are different.
The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man. And a man's heart was given to it.
Right.
And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear.
See, and a lot of these nations name themselves out of this thing. Russia called themselves the bear. But is it the bear of today? Could this be the bear raising up? And you think we in trouble now? Y'all, we ain't even got to Jacob's trouble yet. Don't worry about the bear yet. He may not be the leader of the bear country yet. We got a ways to go. Let's read some more.
And it raised up itself on one side. And it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. And the beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots.
Right.
And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit.
Who sat?
The Ancient of Days.
And this is the consistency, y'all, we want to have today when we run through these 3 revelators, Enoch, John, and Daniel. You're going to see a consistent pattern about the Ancient of Days, and it don't change to nobody else.
Right.
It don't change to no different type of ending or beginning of another kingdom. Y'all, it's finished. What's going to happen at the end? The script has already been finished. It's already signed off and into production. Ain't no revising of the film because this Negro showed up.
Right.
Let's read some more.
You see, in that ancient is capitalized.
Absolutely. And not to cut you off, bro, but it's called Ancient of Days. It's before what we would even consider day one.
Right.
Before time.
Before time. He's ancient to days. When you say somebody ancient, you mean they really older than anybody you know. He's older than Enoch. Methuselah. Wait, he's ancient to Methuselah. He's ancient to Genesis 1 and 1. Ancient to that.
Right.
Let's read some more.
Whose garment was white as snow.
What was his garment?
White as snow.
And notice, y'all, when white is compared, who got that on? Well, you need earpiece over there. So, y'all, when it's compared to snow, it's saying it's whiter than what's supernatural. And snow is supernatural. And there's no substance or source on earth that's whiter than snow. Nothing. It ain't a bleached, can be manufactured.
Right.
Nothing on earth is whiter than snow. So it's pure. So everything about righteousness will be compared to that. If somebody start telling you the righteousness of the whiteness of Mr. Clean, no, you got
What? He tainted.
you tainted. It's the color of a peace stain when you put it against snow. Let's get some more.
And the hair of his head like the pure wool.
Like the what?
Pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire.
And see, you'll get a lot of presidents of these nations or people who are over in the European, they sit on councils or judges and they have those white wigs on, rolled up like wool. That's what they're saying. We're in a supreme status when we make this judgment here. So when you see that George Washington used to wear them, Frank and all them, and when you go like inside the Washington Monument or the Capitol, he's up on the ceiling sitting like he's the Ancient of Days with the hair like wool. Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson on his right.
They still wear them over in England.
Yeah.
In the judicial system over in England, they still put on those wigs. Yeah, Africa too, yes, we do.
Where we at?
Verse 10.
Yeah.
A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. I beheld then because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain.
So we see the horn right here. It was a beast that was slain.
Right.
So he put down. Go ahead.
And his body destroyed and given to the burning flame.
So we see this is bringing in the Antichrist reign. So y'all, until we start to see this little horn rise up like this, ain't no need us reaching and rushing prophecy. You can't make it happen in your time because you know why? You still waiting on white folks to tell you. You waiting on CNN. You waiting on all the views from their satellites so you can keep up. But they know it ain't their time just yet. They know they have oracles. No, your time ain't yet, just like the devils that he cast out. They know the Most High ain't here to torment them yet. The Antichrist must show y'all.
Yeah, they know the times. They know the timeline of things that need to be played out.
And every Babylonian system had a physical Antichrist. So it ain't like the Antichrist will be a system. It'll be a system that one individual promotes to all the people because he has to imitate the Messiah. It's like the Messiah is bringing his Father's law, statutes, and judgment to a kingdom. The imitator must do the same thing. Let's read some more.
Verse 12.
Yeah.
As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away.
Right.
Yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him.
Now, we used to have non-messianics was saying ain't no Messiah. But you know what they used to say? That's the only scripture we can't get around. Hold on, why are you trying to get around it?
Right.
Because you don't want an intercessor? You want someone else that has double the sin you have to try to forgive your sins. So that's one we can't get around. Well, what that mean? That means you got to hold on your non-messianic doctrine, don't it?
There you go.
Why would you keep going and this keep popping up and you're going to always have a problem with that? We don't have a problem with who the Messiah is. Just ask us and tell us who else it could be.
Well, they have a problem because they into a flesh doctrine.
Yeah.
So they want to physically have someone set before them to say that's the Messiah because they have no faith in that which they do not see with the naked eye.
Oh.
So that's what it comes down to. There's really no faith. They don't believe in that which they do not see or that which is not tangible with the senses. So if they can't see it, smell it, touch it, it don't exist for real with them.
Yeah.
It's good talk. This is good table conversation.
Right.
Just like it look good on paper, but we really don't believe that.
Right.
Because we can't, it's not tangible. We can't touch that. So hope seen is not hope at all.
That's right. But notice what they'll do. They'll say the wind with no problem. You can't see it, can you?
No, but it just comes down to the lack of faith or man worship.
What you got over there, too bad?
That Romans 8, what Elijah just quoted a minute ago. Romans 8:24, it says, "For we are saved by hope.
Yeah.
But hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doeth he yet hope for?
Right.
But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it."
Look, that's like being in the kingdom then saying to yourself, I hope I see the Messiah. You in the kingdom, but I mean, if you hope you see him, you in somebody else's kingdom.
Right. I hope he just walked through here.
Yeah.
You think he gonna come through here? Like he on a world tour?
Yeah.
You think he gonna stop by our city?
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 14.
Yeah.
And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion.
How long is his dominion?
Everlasting dominion. Which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me.
Because he sees supernatural war, y'all. First he sees the Antichrist, and then he seeing the Messiah handing down, y'all. If we were to peep into the future, y'all, and see the last days that we talk about, we ain't got a clue. All we say the last days and Jacob's trouble is coming. But Matthew 24 say it's going to be a day that ain't never been seen on earth. It's going to be worse than the flood. It's going to be worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. It's Amos 5:18 to what is the day of the Lord for you? It's going to be a day of darkness and gloominess. Let's read some more.
Verse 16.
Yeah.
I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me, and made me know the interpretation of the thing.
See how the Bible interprets itself? Y'all, we ain't got to sit here and guess, no, see, because it's going to be, see, if it wasn't going to be Joe Biden, see, he wouldn't have fell up the steps. See, he wouldn't say he failed. See, didn't he stumble up the steps? Didn't he stumble up? You'd be like, oh.
You sound like Eddie Murphy when he be talking about his daddy.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 17.
Yeah.
These great beasts, which are four, are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth.
So that's the first thing. So don't get it twisted, y'all. It's interpreting itself. Four beasts, or four kings. So they're not animals. They're just compared to these type of, and that'll be their symbol. Like the lion of the tribe of Judah. It's only symbolic, so to speak. But they're four kings, they're men that come out of earth. Go ahead.
Verse 18.
Yeah.
But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
Now, you'll have a lot of these camps and groups are trying to do this verse now. See, don't that say we supposed to take it? So the problem is, it said the saints of the Most High. The saints that he bring back with him.
Right.
This only work if the Most High is with you. If the Messiah is with you. If he ain't, you ain't taking nothing yet, because secretly you still exclude him, saying we can get it done.
So how you gonna take the kingdom and you already condemned?
Right, what?
How the hell you gonna take a kingdom and you already condemned already?
You own papers in Missouri, so that technically means if you wander over in East St. Louis, it's trouble. And you finna take a kingdom. You sitting up rooting and chanting in a small room. 20 people trying to figure out how we gonna split them 14 chicken wings.
Oh man.
And you rooting and hollering.
No, they don't believe in eating meat, so
That's right.
yeah, okay.
they splitting broth.
Verse 19. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast,
Yeah.
which was diverse from all the others.
So it's explaining again, this last kingdom gonna be different from all the other ones. So that will let you know where we at in time period. You know what the other three was like. This one will be a Babylonian system, but there's going to be a difference about this. It's going to run the same program, but it's something different this last beast we're to look at. Let's get some more.
Exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet.
Now, we got at least 20 nations with nuclear warheads. Some of these nations with that power got to fall. And it's going to be one superpower left. Well, there's only been one superpower on planet Earth that ever dropped nuclear more than once. Ain't nobody else did it but test it. But I'm talking about to use it and its power. There's only been one nation so far. And it's still called the super what? Superpower. No. It's a superpower. The Most High made it that way so that he'll take it down so you really get to see who a champion is.
Because, I mean, when this superpower make a threat, all the mother nations stand down. Because they like, nah, we ain't playing with that ego.
No.
That ego gets busy.
Yeah.
He has proven his point several times.
Yes, sir. 2 hydrogen bombs.
He cares about nothing about the young or the old, like prophecy said.
A thermonuclear, they running that in the Daily Mail too. They call her Napalm Lady. She's still alive.
Yeah.
When they dropped in, when she
Yeah,
was
she
running
was-
as a little girl, butt naked, skin peeling
On
off
Time
of her.
magazine, she in the middle of the street, and her skin falling off her body.
That was in the 40s and 50s, wasn't it?
she's still
Way
alive.
back then. But they still letting the world know who the champion is and who don't just bluff tough talk.
No, they do.
They dropped 2 of them for good measure. That let you know it wasn't a mistake, didn't it?
Right.
They dropped Fat Boy. That's what the bomb was called. And then the other one was called what? I forget whatever it was, but it hit and knocked your socks off. Who was it called? Baby? Fat Boy and Baby. Yes, sir. Well, it was going to be you might well throw the baby out with the wash water on that one, don't you? Y'all, and the whole world see it, but ain't nobody going to challenge America and say, we're going to get you for war crimes for that.
And they hunt all the terrorists of the world.
Let's get some more of that,
Bring
brother.
them to justice.
Verse 20.
Yeah.
And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell.
Right?
Even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellow. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them.
See, so when you read up, the saints shall take the kingdom, you have to tell them to keep reading because apparently they ain't read this verse. 21, that throws all that off, don't
Right,
it?
exactly.
It say this beast gonna make war with the saints and she'll do what?
He said it prevailed against them.
So y'all, if you're saying you're a saint of the Most High, it's telling you this champion here on earth is gonna get busy with the saints of the Most High. And prevail against you just meaning his power will overpower you, so we're gonna have to call on our power.
Exactly.
It had already told you don't have enough power to deal with this beast. You ain't got a clue what we're talking about, the spiritual wickedness in high places, when they talk about building something that could destroy every human being on planet Earth at a whim, if we decide to do it. That's who you dealing with. What you got in your closet that you done been to a gun show or out to Cabela's to get?
Right.
That you can sit back and think that, yeah, if I load this 9 and I load a clip in that quick, I probably can get around the world and kill everybody.
Yeah, okay.
And all they do is do this. Not only that, but he carried with him that same power in a briefcase. Wherever he goes, to let all the other world know, if you try to get at me when I'm over here talking to these people, I got the briefcase with me. I got it handcuffed to me and the code. Don't make me do it out of our land, because I will. Let's read some more.
Verse 22.
Yeah.
Until the Ancient of Days came, and the judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom.
So he would wear the saints out until our deliverance comes.
That's right.
And if you calling on your ancestors, they're not the Ancient of Days, because your ancestors is inside of this universe that you're calling on. What ancestors you think you're talking about? See, so it ain't gonna be them. Ain't no need you hoping they come back and do nothing.
Right.
Let's get some more.
Verse 23.
Yeah.
Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth.
What he gonna do?
Devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces.
So when you devour the whole earth, that means you got everybody on lock. They scared of you. If I don't put sanctions on you, I'll bomb you. It's the fourth beast, y'all. This is all we need to be concerned with, is who is the fourth beast. Those three before have nothing to do with what's going to wear out the saint. Let us keep our focus on the fourth beast. That's where our trouble gonna be. That's where our war is at. Go ahead, bro.
It's only gonna wear out some of the things, but some of them will get raptured.
Well, that's what they teach, you know, that he ain't gonna be able to devour you. See, that's a problem for that doctrine called the Pentecostal doctrine that say you're gonna be raptured away from here. Now, the Bible don't use the word rapture. It uses a word called the great gathering. Now, well, that's what I mean, the rapture. No, because your doctrine teach is pre-tribulation. This doctrine teach the great gathering is post-tribulation, after the drama. Let's read some more.
Verse 24.
Yeah.
And the 10 horns out of the kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the rest, from the first. And he shall subdue 3 kings, and he shall speak great words against the Most High.
Who he gonna speak it against?
The Most High. And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
What is he gonna do?
He's gonna wear out the saints of the Most High.
When your mama told you, boy, I'm gonna wear you out. If they had to go to them levels, boy, you knew that one was on for real. Boy, I'm about to wear you out. Go ahead.
Let me see. And think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time.
See, it say they think to change the law and the time. See, this is just their thought process. They didn't do it.
Right.
If they have you thinking it's to change, and that's what knuckleheads out here doing now, thinking the law didn't change.
And then the time, the Enochian calendar.
And the times have changed. We're under this calendar and this calendar. No, the prophecies stand the same.
Yep.
And we're going to go to Enoch and see if he says his Enochian calendar changes what we just written right here when we get into that Revelator. What you got, Sister Karen?
I was just talking to a Sunday minister, and I asked him why did they worship on Sunday instead of the Sabbath. And, you know, a lot of them, they have the sheep in their churches led astray. But when I stepped out and asked him, and he was kind of talking around about it, then it came to him like everybody else talking about they worship the day of Christ's resurrection. And I just said, oh, okay. I just wanted to ask, because a lot of them don't even know why they believe the way they believe, but they're passing it on to the others.
Absolutely.
The blind leading the blind.
But notice what he did.
But the shepherd's going to be held accountable for misleading.
Exactly.
But notice what he did. He never answered your question.
No.
He deflected the answer to another situation within the Bible or an act in the Bible called the resurrection. That has nothing to do with the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made in Genesis 1, in Genesis 2. That's when the Sabbath was made, because that's where it tells us to go back and look at it like it was in the beginning. So the problem is, what they said, we celebrate the resurrection. The only problem is there ain't no rules for that.
Right.
Ain't nothing in there that comes directly from them. We're never told to celebrate the resurrection.
No.
It ain't in the Bible.
No.
It's for us to look toward is that it'll help with the belief process, but it don't change the Sabbath. You can't void out one law so you can do this one, and which ain't even law.
Right.
So technically, you're taking away from the Bible.
And
Go
the
ahead,
thing of it is, the Lord tells us we're supposed to be able to answer to every man why we believe as we do.
Yeah.
And so as he was kind of looking around and using different ways that by the time he led up to saying it's the day of resurrection because it's the first day of the week, and the Lord gave me to tell him that our Most High set the example before Moses was born, before anybody in the Old Testament, and before his son was even born into the world. He set the example when he created everything in 6 days and rested and focused. When our Lord and Savior died, he died on Friday, stayed in the grave and rested on Sabbath and got up going to work, showing himself alive and well. But the thing of it is, you don't have to keep bickering and babbling about God's word, because his word speaks for itself.
Absolutely, and that's why we have to be careful, because if they change the Sabbath, what they're doing is they're changing multiplication too. So now 3 days and 3 nights turn into 2 with that doctrine. Because if they say Good Friday, I'm just still looking out how you gonna get 72 hours, 3 days from Friday to Sunday.
And also the laws, changing the law, thinking to change the law, which is the 4th commandment from Sabbath to Sunday, and the time from sunset to sunset. And the Lord gave me this to tell them, if 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. 12 a.m. is called the middle of the night. I said, why is a.m. attached to it? Because our Lord is not the author of confusion.
Absolutely.
He is from sunset to sunset.
Right. And not only that, but y'all, notice how crafty the devil is. When you know you already on death row, you don't care about saving anybody. Because this is it. The devil don't even say that.
Right. He manipulates man.
See, because you know why? It ain't a calendar we can pull up right now that Sunday is the 7th day of the week. No matter how you look at it, Sunday is still the first day of the week on every calendar on this planet right now. So your thought process is only here that the time has changed, but they show you what the first day of the week is. Sunday.
Just like nothing in the scriptures has ever changed. From its time being printed, reprinted, or whatever. Nothing in here has ever changed. They just get your thought process to change and thinking from the truth, taking it from the truth. Absolutely. But he ain't never had to change nothing.
Right.
Because if you don't understand it, why do I have to change it?
Right.
If you don't understand it, I ain't got to change nothing. I just got to convince you that you don't understand what's in here, and let me guide you to understand it.
The Holy Spirit convicts man's conscience because they choose to love darkness rather than light. But the thing of it is, you don't have to keep straining at a net to keep them swallowing a camel with people. You just present the truth, and the enemy have when the truth flows to you when you know the truth. But the thing of it is, it's a lot.
You know what it is? It's a walk to the end, y'all. We mustn't do it to the end. So y'all, we're gonna keep it moving. But y'all, it's exactly what she's saying, y'all. They think to change the laws and time. Ain't nothing changed. Look, and this is how the play on words, two of these teachers out here. Right there, don't it say it changed the law? It never said the law was changed. It say they think to change the laws of
Just
time.
like
They
it said,
can't change.
he that believeth on Christ shall be saved.
Right.
It didn't say
They are saved. It says might be saved
be.
or will be saved based off of these conditions.
Right.
Ain't nowhere in the scriptures say you are saved if you believe. You're guaranteed the kingdom. All you have to do is say, I believe. Well, belief comes with a walk.
Ezekiel 18 wouldn't be in place then.
Sure wouldn't.
If a man turns from his righteousness and do that which is evil, that wouldn't exist.
Sure wouldn't. Let's get it.
Verse 26.
Yeah.
But the judgment shall sit.
What shall sit?
The judgment shall sit. And they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him.
And if you want to understand it, get into the first 10 chapters of 1 Kings 8, where starting in 1 Kings 8, Solomon's temple. All nations were coming up to Jerusalem. When you read about that, you see how nations were blessed and how they loved that kingdom, that everlasting kingdom. It's the same thing in Zechariah 14. All nations will come up the same way. But every nation going to be like the Queen of Sheba.
Right.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, sis.
I just wanted to say how grateful that I am that I had the past experience as a Sunday keeper and looking and knowing something was missing, moving forward to a little more knowledge with this Seventh-day Advent movement, and even feeling really more empowered but realizing something was missing until I came to the order of Melchizedek, the Hebrew Israelite service, and I am really grateful because I am learning.
Hallelujah. Because what you were missing was the understanding of the law.
That I had the experience of knowing it.
And not only that, but it keeps your soul in check while you're dreaming, because we're talking about an individual who was dreaming, and his soul knows the law.
Right.
See, you can promote the law with your eyes open, but can you promote it while you sleep? Can you be a good student in your sleep? Can you obey and behave in your sleep? It's your weakest point when your hands are down by your side and you need that defender we were just talking about. Let's get caught up, y'all.
Verse 28.
Yeah.
Hitherto is the end of the matter.
Y'all see this like we read Ecclesiastes, let us to the conclusion of the whole matter.
Right.
Let's see if they all wind up the same way. Go ahead.
As for me, Daniel, my cogitations much troubled me, and my countenance changed in me. But I kept the matter in my heart.
So we're going to get right to the 10th chapter, y'all. Y'all read 8 and 9, but it's going to get into that Babylonian king and talking about that situation. But it said 4 kings, y'all. This is what we have to understand about the book of Daniel. It's spacing out in time. Y'all, 3 kings is already gone, y'all. We're into that 4th king. We just got to see what the time period is. Where are we at with this 4th king? Well, we know that 4th kingdom produces the Antichrist. The power to destroy every man, woman, and child wasn't 100 years ago.
Right.
If it sure was 1,000 years ago. I'm talking about the push of one button that blocks the sun out, that it cannot give its light. The absence of heat is what? Oh! Ain't enough propane and wood out there to keep you warm from a nuclear winter. And notice they call it nuclear winter. They don't call it summer, nuclear winter, because that's what it's going to turn into. Let's get some more. Yeah, and dark and cold.
You know when there ain't no light, that's even more
Cold.
Exactly.
Let's get some more.
10, Daniel 10.
Yeah.
Daniel chapter 10, verse 1. In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar. And the thing was true, but the time appointed was long.
What was the time appointed?
Long.
See y'all how prophecy told you're going to die before this comes to pass. See, the Bible is true. It don't hold no punches and have you believing I may experience. It told you going to be dead before this go down. You still got faith? Go ahead, brother.
That's why I keep saying the patience of the saints.
Yes, sir.
That is right.
Go ahead.
And the thing was true, but the time appointed was long, and he understood the thing, and had understanding of the vision. In those days, I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks.
So right here, but they called him Belteshazzar. That's just so if you hear about his name over there, or anybody talk about this same Belteshazzar must have the same dream. See, they changed his name right there. His name was Daniel. In the Hebrew, it means this. But the problem is, it don't matter what name they calling him, the dream must be consistent. Those people just called him Belteshazzar.
And and the things that he did, his character must be consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
The Most High.
Not the name, it's just a name. When they went into the Babylonian captivity, their name got changed like ours did to this Babylonian kingdom. Same system, different time period.
Right.
Let's get some more.
It always happens. They always got to strip you of your identity to
Right.
rule over you.
Yeah.
In order for a man to rule over your household, he must bind that king first.
Look, they always
Change
talk
his
about
ways.
you're showing the white man, but in here, Satan ain't changed what Christ has described that.
Nope.
When you think that would be the first thing he would change in the Bible, but he don't have to do it because we hard headed.
Right.
We'll accept a white Jesus if he did come back, if he's going to deliver you from the said pearls that's written in the Bible for a short season. You'll believe anything. You'll make an excuse for it to believe it. Let's read some more.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth. Neither did I anoint myself at all, till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled.
So this don't mean he changed his diet. What this means, he took a Nazarite vow at this point. No wine in my mouth, and then there's a cutoff period.
Yeah.
So when we get to number 6 of the vow of a Nazarite, you pick how long you go. Can't no man tell you how long to vow your vow to the Most High. It's a man or woman. When you set a vow, ain't no date. Most of the time, there was a minimum 3 weeks. a month or so that an individual's don't eat or however it go. Look at Judges 13 when they came to Samson's mama. She was a woman. She was put under a Nazarite vow. You can't do this. You can't drink this. You can't eat this because that seed that's in you is eaten from your umbilical cord. And he must be a Nazarite under the same vow. So she was a vow, yet the baby in her womb was under the same vow, eating the same food, which was spiritual food, cleansing him of anything else just till he was born. But it says he shall be a Nazarite until he dead. You, soon as you birth him, you can go back to drinking your little wine.
Right.
But not him. What you got there, Tommy? We got to roll, y'all. Go ahead, Tommy.
I was coming out the liquor store and I ran into what I thought was a white-minded brother. And he looked at me. I was like, Shalom, man, what's up? I ain't seen you, man. He was like, man, y'all the ones killed Christ, man. This, that, and the other. I said, what? He said, yeah, man. All the things y'all doing, y'all ain't supposed to be doing, man. I said, bro, you sounded like you're coming off that Nazarite doctrine, right? You a Hebrew. But if you take upon yourself, you know what I'm saying, those laws of a Nazarite, so be it. But don't put that on everybody else.
Right.
You know?
But see, I'm trying to still figure out how we kill Christ.
Hey, this told the story right here. Guess who just left my house?
Look,
See,
still
some
regardless. What it say, y'all kill Christ.
Nah, it's
The scripture don't say we kill Christ.
You see what I'm saying?
It
It's
says
like, now I know
we
where you
approved of
get
his death, but we can't
See
kill
what I'm
what's
saying?
already prophesied. It's prophesied in Isaiah 53. How we do it? Was we going back in when Isaiah the prophet was around? When he said, this what they gonna do to him, this what they gonna do to him. He told to Adam, this is what has to happen. He told it was told to Adam, who has to come back and fix it. So, how did we kill the Messiah? Messiah was already marked for death. What are they talking about, bro? See, that's what we're talking about. We can't get caught up in crazy conversations or even entertainment. Yeah, you talking about the forefathers of the Pharisees? Yeah, they told Caesar, yeah, go ahead and put him to death, because Caesar say, I find no fault in him. So tell me what fault you're finding in him.
Now don't that pop up on that Revelation 22 and 18?
That's just chasing wind,
But
doctor.
you add to and take it away.
But same thing too, but that's just under misunderstanding. What they're doing is, it's just stinky doctrine. It's like just somebody cut a chitlin, break wind from some chitlin soup, and you just stay in the midst of it, just keep following right behind them with your nose at his back pocket. You just chasing stank doctrine.
That ain't even stank doctrine, that's dead doctrine.
After sin.
Ointment of fly.
See, and that's what we don't want to chase is stank doctrine, y'all. See, because it has no beginning, it has no end, what they're talking about. And then all these people down here talking about Christ, Nazarene doctrine, y'all, you can miss all of that. He was born in Nazareth. The person they hate, Paul, said, I was of the sect of the Nazarene, but I changed my ways. So he was like you Negroes was talking when they was killing Hebrews. Right. You're just killing, you're doing the same thing Paul was doing before the road to Damascus. Because he said, I was of the sect of the Nazarene. So what sect is he of now then? If he said, I was.
He's of the sect of the Christians, the real Christians.
Yeah, the Christ followers.
The Christ followers.
He said, I used to be part of that group, and now they're resurrecting Paul before the walk to Damascus. And they beat him up and pound on him.
Now they beating him up again because they said he was at odds with all the other disciples.
If them disciples was breaking the law.
Now this is their misunderstanding. This is how dark they have gone. They say we only listen to those who were appointed by Christ personally. Paul wasn't appointed. Yes, he was. He was blinded by Christ on the road to Damascus.
Right.
How do you say he was not dealt with by Christ?
When Christ was
It was Christ that talked to him
That's his straight.
and put him on the mission he was on. So how do you exclude Christ from that incident on the road to Damascus?
That's temple. Oh, see, and that's the easy out. Go ahead. Let's just get there. We come right back.
I just wanted to say this. Paul won more people to Christ than the disciples that were walking with Christ, bickering over who was going to be the greatest in the kingdom. And even when he died and rose again and came and walked with them, they still didn't recognize who he was. But Paul had never seen Christ before and believed him and was more powerful and clinging and doing more, and he won more souls to Christ than the ones that he killed.
Well, because they were put in certain positions for certain things. Look, Paul tell you, they really, if you want to talk about it, he said technically because they rolled with him for 3.5 years, they know him physically and spiritually better than I do because they were around him every day. He said, but I'm not going to take a step back on mine. It's still called apostles. Yes, they're chief apostles, but I'm not lessening my stance on where I'm at because the law is equal if I'm the baby apostle.
Right.
Because the law equals whoever else. And that's the major problem they got. They got to deal with Peter if they're going to deal with Paul, because Peter said they wrestle with Paul's writing to their own to your own destruction. That's what Peter said.
But he said not only do they wrestle with Paul, they wrestle with all the other scriptures.
So if you're going to be mad at Paul, you got to take his partner and be mad at him too. One of the original 12, and his name is Peter. Because Peter said, if you wrestle and twist his scripture, you're doing it to your own destruction. So Peter is vouching for Paul, one of the original 12.
But they saying Peter and Paul was always at odds.
No, I ain't read that. Then you need to get the book of Peter out of there about that. What you got to say?
Besides, if his word was invalid, why is it in the new covenant? Period. Take that out. Take all his words out.
Look, all we got to do is do what the person that comes out of each individual mouth, not what nobody else said. What came out of his mouth, Paul's mouth, was in Acts 24 and Acts 28. I do everything. I'm commanded everything from the law and from the prophets. All you have to do, y'all, all y'all have to listen to is just tell them, tell me where Paul broke the law and changed the prophecy of the law and the prophet. And we got Paul. But they don't do that. You know, they throw in our arguments. Man, he had an argument with Willie down at the tire shop. Man, him and such and such had beef over there at C&K about some potato salad. One's supposed to be on hot. But they won't go to the law with it and say, right here is violation of this law. Let's turn to Leviticus such and such, and we'll show you where Paul is on. And then you get rid of that. But they ain't going to do it.
They only deal with those whom they can convince through their ignorance.
Yeah.
They won't go, that's why they won't marry women that's already into the script.
Right. That's what they talking about.
They deal with ignorance. They prey on ignorance. That's what they're preying on, your ignorance. Because deception is only accomplished through ignorance. You not knowing or researching the matter. But because you would have placed a man in front of you or above you, now you man worship and you believe everything he's telling you without researching. But the script verily tells us, study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, not to man. Right. He tells us, cursed is he that followeth man and trusteth his man, and maketh man his own, his flesh, which means his law. So if you make man's conversation, theology, ideologies law, then you are cursed.
Right. Ain't that what a religion is?
That's what a religion is, man-made doctrine of ideology and theology. With no facts.
Right.
It's just a gumbo of all manner of man-made bullcrap. Crap.
Right.
It's just gumbo of crap.
Yeah.
The broth of abominable things.
Yeah, in their vessels.
That's all it is.
It's swine doctrine, y'all.
Somebody in the chat named Humble said, I got into it with some STL Nazarites on the live last night. Them Nazarites in their books is straight.
Nazarene.
They're not Nazarites, they're Nazarenes.
Yeah,
There's a difference.
That's a big difference.
There's a big difference.
I'm sorry.
Number 6 is a Nazarite. Number 6 is a Nazarite. The Nazarene doctrine is a sect that Paul used to belong to when they were killing believers in Messiah. He left that group. And now this group is stirred back up because technically, y'all, if you look at it, they're not at Paul. They're really on getting rid of the Messiah and Judgment Day. That's what they have to get rid of. Paul is just the deflection, the misdirection is Paul. Get you tangled up in that, but at the same time saying what Christ said to him never existed or never happened. See, that's the whole deflection of everything with a new doctrine because they want to chase new doctrine. You're looking for a way out of this captivity, and it ain't gonna happen till it's over, till Christ say it's done, and then we move on to the next place.
But you'll find that these cats that's claiming to be of the Nazarene sect, we in the information age, y'all.
Yeah.
Look it up. Research what the Nazarene sect was about.
Yeah.
These were vagabond Nazarites who fled from and wanted to start their own secret society.
Yeah, secret society.
It's a secret society of Israelites that didn't want to follow Christ.
Yeah.
They were at odds with Christ, and they said they could do it better.
Yeah.
They said they could do it better than the Messiah. Look it up. Not only that, this is the inconsistency with these knuckleheads that don't know what they're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Because the Nazarene sect didn't have women a part of their group.
Boy, I'm not no
They didn't have women a part of their group.
Look
They
here.
didn't believe in having women as a part of their secret society.
Boy.
They didn't change their clothes either.
No. Boy, listen.
Look it up, research these things and stop just going by what a Negro tell you.
And say I'm a part of it.
Researching. They didn't believe in raising family or children.
So you can't have 5 wives, 7 wives.
They didn't have one. They didn't believe in marriage. Look it up. Research these things. Don't go by what these knuckleheads just feeding you. Look this stuff up.
Unless you just want to believe a lie.
But that's what Israel is. Isaiah 30 and 10. Prophesy not unto us right things, prophesy smooth things, prophesy deceit.
Yeah.
It's easy to swallow.
Go ahead, sis.
I got a 17-year-old granddaughter that, ever since she was a little girl, used to go to church with me Sunday keeping, then Seventh-day Adventist, and I invited her to come here. And she was telling me that she got 2 co-workers that are sisters that are claiming to be Hebrew Israelites, that the father is married to 2 different women, and each one of the daughters belongs to the father that's married to 2 different women. And my granddaughter even had enough sense to know that that was confusing to her, because I told her I was a Hebrew Israelite follower now, and I wanted her to come so that as she was following me, as I was following Christ, even though it was the long route going down the long road, and I told her about coming, inviting her to come here, she was telling me about some false doctrines in the Hebrew Israelite about this man married to 2 women, and each daughter that worked with her, where she works at, are telling her, because they were,
Friends,
and all.
Well, see, this what happens, sister.
Keep her in prayer.
She wanted Israelite religion.
There you go.
See, that's the whole. It's the play on words. If you get or you start talking that, automatically your mind goes to the worst part, because that's what Satan wants you to see. Satan will never promote good works of Israelites. I'm talking about Israelites that doing work out. He only focuses on the part that's hollering. So it makes it a religion. So that religion called Hebrew Israelite religion, there's no such thing as a Hebrew Israelite religion, because all nations have the same law. It's just a nation of people that practice the law of God. So that's why it's just best to just tell them, I'm a Christ follower and I practice the gospel. And then you'll get the chance. They're going to say, so where are you from? And then you tell them, well, if you're asking me about my tribal origin. But religion is not tied to this. Saying I follow the Hebrew Israelite religion means you're chasing a man-made doctrine, because skin color and nation following is not in here. It don't matter what nation you are, it's the law of the Most High. Because Noah gave it to every one of his sons. He gave it to Ham to go to that land, the same covenant. To Shem, the same covenant. To Japheth, the same covenant. Along the way, they lost that covenant and went to their own covenant. So you have to understand, everybody got off the ark was teaching, and the same thing was taught to them, just like it is today. But when you get Hebrew religion and you're saying the Hebrew Israelite doctrine, there ain't no such thing called the Hebrew Israelite doctrine. It don't exist. It's the gospel of Christ given to him by his father. Or you have to make Adam a Hebrew.
Well, I just wanted to ask a quick question. So that doctrine about a man can have more than one wife is not.
When you read the law about a man having more than one wife, it says if he takes a wife, but there was reasons for it. The first wife was barren. Not only this, but she's a handmaid. Everywhere this law takes place, that handmaid belonged to that woman, not the husband, even though they were married. That's her personal property, like Laban's daughter had Bilhah and Zilpah. But they were before Jacob got there. Jacob didn't just because he married Leah and Rachel say, them handmaids belong to me too. No, they said, I can't have a baby by you. My personal servant will do it because she's just like me. Hagar was given to Sarah in Egypt.
Well, I know that.
Abraham, no, I'm just saying, so there's laws for more than one wife. And if you're not following the laws, you're breaking the laws for one wife. And that's what they're doing, because they say follow the laws of the land, and you need power of protection. You can't have 2 wives in this land. It's impossible. The best thing you can do is get a notary public, a power of attorney over the second woman, and she turns everything over to you with a signed document saying, I'm a grown legal adult. If anything happens to me, he's in charge. But you know why they can't do that? It's because they don't want no paperwork tied to them. No paperwork. They don't want that responsibility. They won't even go spend $12 for a notary public that you can write out here and say, he's in charge of me. They don't want that in the records. That costs $12. They won't even do that, and they'll just say you're a second wife. If she hit a car accident, they can't show up. They go next to kin. Who's next? Her brother Willie. Who's after that? Her sister Sarah. Who's next? Her grandmother. But they won't say it's this Negro with no paperwork. He's got a text message. He's married. No, sister, there's rules for everything in the Bible. Y'all, we got to get caught up. Y'all, go ahead, Theo, because we way behind. Go ahead. How much you charge?
But for people I don't know, if you ever look at every scripture, Abraham and Jacob, they didn't go out looking for wives. Their wives fulfilled the role of the wife. Remember, the wives brought the other wives in because it was something they thought they couldn't do or they needed.
Right.
So it wasn't a lust thing. These men were righteous men.
Now I'm just talking
Who
about now.
only wanted one wife. Abraham was 90 plus years old.
Now we're just
And
talking about
right, I know what you're saying.
now.
And Sarah, Hagar had always been there. Jacob saw Leah and Zilpah and Bilhah, and then when he went for Rachel, but he worked 7 years for her and her, and then worked another 7, and then Laban tricked him out of another 6 years. He worked 20 years for one woman and got tricked into this because he still had a law problem because you're not supposed to marry sisters.
Right.
He married Leah and Rachel. It was already drama to a next highest level, and they got you looking at this from a perspective of that he had more than one wife. You got to get past the law of marrying same sisters. First, before you even get to the problem, talk about multiple wives.
That don't never come
And not only that, they never taught it. Isaac only had one wife. He never taught it. The 12 tribes, only 2 of them ever had more than one wife. Levi and Simeon, the other 10, rock with one. So it's not a taught doctrine. It's not a doctrine to be chased. It's a part of the doctrine of the Hebrew Israelite religion. This don't talk about this. This talks about the gospel of Christ to restore the Garden of Eden on planet Earth again.
License marriage.
That's what it's called. Let's get it, y'all. We got to get caught up. You had something that time or you good? Yeah. Okay, let's get it, y'all. We got to get caught up, y'all. We want to get on through this because we got to get in Revelation, and I want to get a little bit of Enoch. You're in the 10th chapter.
I know, I'm at verse 4.
Yeah.
And in the 4th and 20th day of the first month.
What is he identifying? He telling you the day that he saw this vision. Ain't he writing it down?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
As I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel.
See, you asked that preacher, when you hear from that from God? When did God tell you? What was you at? If he don't say I was sitting in my sofa and I had channel 2 on and I wrote all this down, he's just going
on this
slow.
particular day.
Go ahead.
Then I lift up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen.
What was he clothed in?
Linen. Whose loins were girded with fine gold or ephod.
See, and all the time whenever we get visions, it's always going to be white surrounded to let you know the power is coming from the Most High. These are men sent from the Most High because you have to have that pureness from him to be around him. That's why when Moses came around him, the children of Israel couldn't look at him because he had that glory on him. That's when you know the messenger is from the Lord. Go ahead.
His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning.
What was his face as?
Lightning. And his eyes as lamps of fire. And his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass. And the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude.
So we see the description. Hold it down back there, shorties. Y'all get them shorties in order back there. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision. For the men that were with me saw not the vision. But a great quaking fell upon them.
Right.
So that they fled to hide themselves. Therefore I was left alone and saw this great vision.
So a lot of times, y'all, when we have a great earthquake, there's visions being told. A lot of times, usually almost everywhere, even when Paul got his vision, there was an earthquake. The men around him say, because when the voice of the Lord thunders, it says his voice is in the thunder. Job said that there's going to be a roaring and a shaking of elements around. The mountains are shaking, the trees are shaking, sway, because the voice of the Lord is that powerful. So everywhere you read the voice of the Lord, it's usually almost every sense that there's going to be an earthquake or the sound of earthquake, and men will be hiding and they hear his voice. Like we do when we still want to be outside playing when it starts to rain and then that thunder hit until he send his voice and say, go in the house. And it rattle the domino table. Everybody get it. I'm out of here, y'all. See y'all later.
Low running.
Low runner. Shalom, mister. You're going.
Shalom.
Go ahead, y'all. Let's get it, y'all. We got to get caught up, y'all. Go ahead.
8 again.
Uh-huh.
Therefore I was left alone and saw this great vision.
Uh-huh.
And there remained no strength in me, for my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength.
That means all he was, my soul would take me. I'm just left with my flesh. So I'm turned into corruption, basically. No spirit left in me. It's just flesh left. Go ahead, brothers.
Yet heard I the voice of his words. And when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep on my face, and my face toward the ground.
Now, if you read about Paul on the road to Damascus, you tell me if you see anything different from the vision he had of the Most High. See, Daniel ain't never seen the Most High, not just talking to him personally like that, but his vision is exactly like Paul's, ain't it? Let's read some more.
And behold, a hand touched me, which set me upon my knees and upon the palms of my hands. And he said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak unto thee, and stand upright, for unto thee am I now sent. And when he had spoken this word unto me, I stood trembling. Then said he unto me, fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand and to chasten thyself before the Elohim, thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words.
See, so this tells you what got him over the hump. This what brought him into the grace of the Most High. The very first time you said, Lord, I trust in you with my whole heart and soul. That day was the day. The Most High gonna show everybody that day. So when you're trying to back out and say, well, I never really heard your words, your soul knows that day. Read that verse again.
For from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand.
It didn't say the second day.
No.
See, y'all, when you set your heart to understand is when we have that feeling. We done been to church. We done tried the Muslim mosque. We done tried some esotericism. But that hole is still there. You like, that ain't it. That's not it. I went down to the Kiel Auditorium way back in the day. Farrakhan was there. And guess who opened up for him? Al Sharpton. Now, I'm already confused, and now here you got a philosopher, but you got a so-called Bible believer opening up for a philosopher. And I said, something wrong with this picture. And he never quoted no script, he just rhymed. See, they got our young people on crack, and our old people hooked on crackers. Yeah. And I'm looking around. And they say, if you got any money, and I mean, they didn't wait for you to put it in the basket. They had snatchers down there. They snatch it out your hand.
The same one.
Yeah.
These cats were lined up at every aisle with a bucket.
Snatchers.
A bucket. And this is how they was getting people who got $500. So they set the bar high.
Yeah.
So once you get a couple of people with 500 and whatever, everybody else want to match that.
Yeah.
They did this probably about 4 or 5 times throughout the course of the night.
So he come out.
So imagine how fat, how swole he was at the end of the night. Tax-free money.
Yes, sir.
Was this a fat Al Sharpton or skinny Al?
This was in the 90s.
This was in the 90s, back when there used to be the Kiel Auditorium Savage Center now. But y'all look, and after you go through that and you say that wasn't it, and then when you hear the words of the Most High, because you say you hear His word, and from that day you like, there it is. That's it. That's the word I needed. That's the word, and that's from that first day that you hear the word and it ignites your soul. That means, like, if you've been trying to get on the internet and you finally get it and you sit back and you say, I'm online, you're spiritually online at that point. And they're saying from the first day Daniel got online, he never changed from being online.
time we got connected.
These Negroes out here teaching these strange doctrines is trying to get online through the back door. They're using a router that don't belong to them. They're hooking cable up to the neighbor's house.
Right.
They own this, so that's how they're trying to get in on what's here in the soul, because from the first day you feel it and you say, that's the truth. I don't have any question about that. Now, individuals may do something wrong, but the truth, that's the truth. Right. Whether they teach it or not, that gospel is the truth.
Right.
Let's read some more, y'all. We gotta get caught up. Go ahead.
Y'all remember where I start?
13.
13? Okay. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 120 days. But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia.
So right here, he said the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. Look, this Daniel trying to get his work done, but he's being opposed and a force. He's battling for 3 weeks against this demonic force that's trying to prevent him from getting that understanding or making the connection with the Most High. But the Most High said he never leaves. Who he sent to him to help him out?
Michael.
Send the archangel Michael. He need a little help down there. Satan got his boys. They willingly withstood. Same thing Christ told Peter. He said, Peter, I had to pray for you. Word out, Satan want to sift you like wheat. And y'all, when you talk about the chief sifter, when Satan come to sift you, he don't take no shorts. Like he jumped inside of Judas Iscariot. He took on Judas person, and he wanted to do Peter the same. He said, I need to get at him. Y'all hold back, Ron Wee and Zach's fan. I'm going to get at him myself. Y'all get my stuff. I'm going to get him.
Because Peter was trusting more in the flesh.
Yeah, with a sword. But he knew the Lord knew Peter belief right here on the day that he accepted the Lord. When he asked him, who do you say, men say that? He said, you the God. Satan knew that, but he knew Peter still was quick with that sword and could cut an ear off, boy, before you can blink. Let's get some more, y'all. We gotta get caught up. Go ahead.
14.
Yeah.
Now I am come to make thee understand.
What does he come to do?
Make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days. For yet the vision is for many days.
So right here, Daniel, his soul is set that I'm gonna die, because he's talking about the last days. I'm going to be dead. For it's set for how many days?
Many days.
It's way beyond, Daniel, what you thinking about. You finna go to sleep, player. Let's read some more.
And when he had spoken such words unto me, I set my face toward the ground, and I became dumb. And behold, one like the similitude of the sons of men touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth and spake, and said unto him that stood before me, O my Lord, by the vision my sorrows are turned upon me, and I have retained no strength. For how can the servant of this my Lord talk with this my Lord? For as for me, straightway there remain no strength in me, neither is there any breath left in me.
See, when your spirit, when your soul has a supernatural vision, it's too powerful for this decaying flesh. So that's why there be no strength in it when you come out of it. Even like Messiah, the angels knew they came and ministered to him after 40 days and 40 nights with no bread. You know, so he had 960 hours in, they came and ministered to him. The spirit is willing, but what? Because this flesh is dying, but the Messiah was already 40 days and 40 nights in. He didn't have that same flesh, but he hungered. Y'all, we can't get past 24 hours of the Day of Atonement without complaining. Try 960 hours. Go ahead, what you got, bro?
That's why, I think that's why when he went so long, because I remember Daniel, not Daniel, Ezra. When he had to fast.
Yeah.
That's why we had to fast a week, 2 weeks, you know.
Yeah.
You had to be able to take that, kill the flesh, you know, so for the spirit to take you.
Absolutely.
What is being told. So the Messiah did the same thing. Lord,
Yeah.
please, he had to kill that flesh. That's right.
And look, and when you come back into it, the Messiah recovers so quick because he didn't have corrupting flesh. He recovers really quickly. We don't recover. It takes time for us to get that steam back, to get that power back and going again, because this dying flesh is trying to keep up with a supercharged spirit. It's like putting what's that Hellcat motor in an old school Volkswagen, and the motor in the back. So when you step on the accelerator, every piece of the car gonna explode except for the frame you in, because the motor's too powerful for that flesh of that car, so to speak. Let's get some more, y'all. You at 18.
Then there came again and touched me one like the appearance of a man, and he strengthened me.
What did he do?
Strengthened me. And said, O man greatly beloved, fear not. Peace be unto thee. Be strong.
Be what?
Be strong. Yeah, be strong. And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened and said, let my Lord speak, for thou hast strengthened me. Then said he, knowest thou wherefore I came unto thee? And now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia. And when I am gone forth, lo, the prince of Grecia shall come.
He like, you ain't through fighting yet? You got another adversary right after him.
Right.
Go ahead.
But I will show thee that which is noted in the scripture of truth.
Where you gonna show it to him from?
In the scripture of truth.
Y'all see this, y'all? That's where he gonna show it to him from. Not from some strange writing found up under a bucket in a barn somewhere. Go ahead, bro.
And there is none that holdeth with me in these things but Michael your prince.
So y'all right there, now because of time's sake, y'all, we run a little low. We was gonna get into chapter 11, but we're gonna jump to chapter 12. Y'all read 11 in your own time, but we're gonna jump to chapter 12. Because you got another man-made doctrine called the Jehovah's Witnesses that say Michael is the Messiah. Yeah, so they look at these two scriptures and say Michael is the Messiah, but they have their own version of the Bible. Jehovah's Witnesses have their own version of the Bible.
Right.
The shortcut version is called the Watchtower.
Yep.
That's a comic book.
That's their comic book. They show the kingdom like it's Grant's phone. Children sitting around, blowing eyes and a few apple trees, and children sitting right there like that's the kingdom. That's in their vision of what they think the kingdom should look like, Grant's phone. Go ahead. Whoa, yeah.
No, man, you ain't seen the movie.
Go ahead.
They got a nice illustrator, though.
Yeah. Who got it?
Daniel chapter 12. Oh, you go ahead, Dad.
Yeah, we got to keep him woke.
Yeah.
I was going to say that, man. All right, the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 1.
Yeah.
And at that time, Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever.
What they gonna change them to what?
The righteousness as the stars forever and ever.
See, and that was told to Abraham, your seed should be as the stars of the heavens and the sand of the sea. Go ahead.
Verse 4.
Yeah.
But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
So right here at Daniel, it told him, this is all you get to reveal. Seal up the book. You're going to die before the rest of it takes place. But you got to see it in a vision. Y'all, if we could look into the future even to get up to the Antichrist, it'll scare the hell out of us. Do you know when you look around who may not be there? If you're able to see that vision, you like, where my brother at?
Right.
Where my sister at?
Mom and dad.
Where my mom and dad at? I'm peeping this vision. That's why I say these visions trouble me sometimes when you looking off into the future, because you're looking for somebody that may have fallen off or fallen off to the embalming fluid in the dirt now. So now you're troubled. Am I alone? Let's read some more.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on that side of the bank of the river. And one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, how long shall it be to the end of these wonders?
And y'all, another sign is they're always in white linen. And do y'all know linen, that cloth comes from the flax stalk?
That's correct.
Y'all see how the earth provides everything for us? I'm talking about a stalk that grows like corn. That's where linen comes from.
Correct.
Your clothes are growing out of the ground.
Correct.
Let's read some more.
Cotton.
Yeah. Go ahead, what you got, Emo?
And you know what? The linen is the most alkaline clothes that you can wear.
And usually sweat proof, majority of it.
Sweat-proof, and you know, perspire to keep you cool because of the alkaline.
Yeah.
And that same flat you can eat, and it alkalines the whole body.
Wonderful, Emo, wonderful. So the clothes and eating a little bit of
Yes.
it. Boy, you doubled up, ain't you? Look, and that's why the priests, them wasn't pants that they say women wear, or they weren't even pants that men wear. When you read what they were, they went from the waist to the middle of the thigh. They were like drawers.
Boxers.
And if you're saying only men could wear them, then men, you got men in hot pants.
Biker shorts.
Biker shorts. Because they were under the clothes. When you get into Ezekiel 44, when you get into Exodus 28, both of them say the same thing, to prevent sweating
That's right.
from that region. You can't go back into the holies of holies and look like you got on a football girdle in the month of September. You know how you sweat around in that football player's girdle, and you going up in there offering some sacrifices?
Thank you. Smelling like the monkey house.
Boy, look here, just like the monkey house. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, that turtle.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swear by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for a time times and a half. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. And I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, O my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? And he said, Go thy way, Daniel.
What did he tell Daniel?
Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the time of the end. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand.
See, in that verse said they should be made white and what?
Purified.
And tried. See, you're not gonna, it ain't no easy walk, but it's not grievous.
Right.
You on this walk, it say prepare your heart for temptation.
Yeah.
Get ready for what's coming your way. Go ahead, finish that up.
I'm with you.
Yeah, to the end.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days.
So it's telling you the time period from the time they cut off the sacrifice till he stands up is going to be 1,290 days. Now you divide that in years times 365, how many years you get out of that? It's saying so from the time this happened to this time is going to be that many days before the Antichrist show who he really is. You going, Emo? Y'all be careful out there. Thank you so much, Emo. Oh, we fed well, Emo. We in good shape. Thank you, Emo.
We'll talk about it more.
Go ahead, bro. Read verse 12 again.
You talking about verse 11 again?
Yeah, verse 11 again.
Verse 11. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days.
Right?
Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,305 day.
So 1,335th day. We got 1290. Then we got, so we put 13, what is that, 25? 1335?
Yep.
No, hold on. Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,305 and 30 days. So 1,335 and minus 1290. How many days we got left over?
Calculator.
I thought we had some mathematicians up in there. But what we're saying is those extra days are the days that says you're almost guaranteed the kingdom, those that make it through, and it's basically getting past the tribulation. So how many extra days is that past tribulation?
45.
45 days, y'all. So another month and a half, you getting past all this turmoil. Let's read what it say. Read that on out. 45, go ahead, read that.
Verse 13.
Yeah.
But go thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest.
What shall thou do?
Rest. And stand in thy lot at the end of the day.
At the end of the day. So Daniel was told, you got to go to sleep. All is sealed up for you. I'm just telling you, when the abomination of desolation, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, talks about the abomination of desolation and the time period it's going to be set up. You get past that 1,290 days, you get into that 45th day. After that, you in good shape. Those are those that remain and are alive on the earth that Isaiah 4 speak about. Repopulating Israel.
Right.
I'm sorry,
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, all of it.
Those who remain alive.
Those who remain and alive, Isaiah 4th chapter, 1 Corinthians 15:51, again say, notice we're going to be, not all shall sleep, but in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, we shall be changed. That's these people that get past that tribulation day. People that's worthy or accountable to repopulate in righteousness like Adam and Eve were supposed to do, so that children are born not shapen in iniquity. Let's get some more, y'all. Y'all get that 11. Yeah, we're going to get right into Revelation 13, y'all. And we're going to see the chapters we just read matched up perfectly. We got about a good 45 minutes, so we're going to get right into Enoch. And they're really short chapters because they're only 8 verses. But we need these 3 revelators. And y'all going to see what we see. They haven't broke ranks. See, when you get a new book out there and it breaks right from the beginning to the end, you got to put that book down because somebody's book must be put down. You can't blend them together because something has changed. Enoch, what you got up there, Tom?
We was moving this lady, man, and it was a pile of stuff by the drive, at the end of the driveway by the moving truck we were loading, right?
Right.
And I'm looking at all this nice stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, whatever you see, take it with you. I grabbed this box full of Bible.
Yeah.
Well, none of them KJV, all of them brand new, beautiful.
Yeah.
Took them home and
Well, did you Exodus 20
my brother say I should have kept them as witnesses.
Well, look, it's a rule. Because language changed, the law never changed. I don't care what version, NIV, New American Standard, go to Exodus 20. If that changes, that's a bad version. See, because language has just changed. It's just more fine English. Do you think what we're speaking now is the language that our ancestors were speaking in the same tone and breath that we're speaking? We're not even speaking the King's English. Our boys over in London English speaking, Zachariah and the one boy we got down there, Cathalia in Minneapolis, they speak the King's English perfectly. When they look at us and the English we think we're proper with, what Ariel, how well he reads, to him he's speaking Ebonics compared to the language that originally came from English. So all you got is just a more refined version. The problem is go to Exodus 20. If that changes, throw it out.
Right. Because the law should never change. That's why Christ said he changed not.
Right. See, and that's how the devil will get you.
Because he's the law. So if the book changes the law, then the book is no good.
Right.
But the law should just only be a more revised version of what English, whatever language you're speaking. It's not going to change the content of the law.
No, because he told you. It's translated into every language on earth.
Right. Translation don't change. It's just like he was talking about his Vietnamese homework that broke down what he read in English and read it. He said it meant the same thing. It changed not. The language didn't change the meaning of what he read.
Absolutely, bro. And the law ain't gonna never do that. Words can't change adultery, stealing, thieving, robbing your neighbor. No language can change that behavior. They just say it differently, but the behavior is the same because the punishment is the same for the thing. Like the grinder girl over there in Russia now, trying to get back on the plane, smoking that cannabis through a vapor, and they got her locked up. Now she's been locked up 120 days now. Yeah. Just had to plead guilty over there, but not only that, they hate homosexuality. Right. And you go up in the court with a picture of your woman, tomorrow, this my wife and you a woman?
Yeah,
it could be rough in court.
Well, that's what they say, and they may hold her indefinitely because, see, they ain't talking about that part of her crime. See, in Russia, they don't play that.
No.
They have a zero tolerance for homosexuality.
China really do. China really bust your
head. And she done had her breast removed. Yeah, she ain't got no...
She had it removed?
She got it taken out. I saw a picture of her.
And they letting her play basketball still with women?
Yeah, she still got an ovary. Or ovaries or whatever.
You're right, yeah. I guess it don't matter about Look, she just going back to before pre-puberty, flat chest. Yeah, flat chest.
She ain't got no twig and berries.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's get it, y'all. Revelation 13, y'all. We got to get caught up. We got these last few, y'all. We're going to get out of here.
Oh, man.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Look, as soon as I saw it, the first thing my spirit said was, okay, basketball, okay, that darkness that come with the females in the basketball now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what you're paying for. You ain't paying for none of that. And the Most High punishing you because the fear is to be locked up abroad.
Yeah.
That is horrible.
Boy, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Look, see, as much as you hate this land, get locked up abroad and see how you be looking for an American embassy. You Negroes can talk all the noise you want, but get locked up abroad.
They want to be American.
Get locked up abroad and see how they get down with you think Rikers Island is bad.
Right.
Get over there in one of them Filipino jails. Panama jail. Any jail out there.
They on top of each other.
With mud floors. You sleep on the floor, on the ground.
Right.
Your roommate is several rats. You eat what they decide to cook that day, if they cook that day. Look here.
Yeah.
You holler, we gonna eat today. They say, yeah, we gonna eat today. You say the only reason I'm asking, cause it's at the end of the day. There ain't number 20 minutes left. Oh, we gonna eat today. Let's get some more, y'all. Go ahead, that turn.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 1.
Yeah.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Now, is these two revelators on the same thing? Because we start off in Daniel chapter 7 with the same talk, didn't we? So when you got a book changing the beginning and the end, throw it out. I don't care how they rename it to some event in the Bible. That don't make it gospel.
Not at all.
The Baptist religion named their doctrine off of John the Baptist baptizer. Yep. The Protestants named theirs off of the protesters of the Catholic doctrine. The Jehovah's Witnesses pulled theirs from out of the book of Jeremiah where it say, "Are not they Jehovah's Witnesses?" You make a religion out of it.
The Pentecost have the feast day.
Pentecost, and they don't even keep the feast.
Boy.
Let's read some more. You named out there, but you don't even know what the feast day is about.
Right.
It says, and upon his horns 10 crowns. And upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
What is the name of?
of blasphemy.
On all them 10 crowns, them 10 kings, the name is blasphemy. Defying the word of the Most High. Blasphemy. How would you like your name to be that? Get it put on a shirt, tough as you is. Don't say the Bible tamper with. Just put blasphemy on your clothes so we know when we see it.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. And his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority.
Go ahead.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
And I saw one of his heads, as it were wounded to death. And his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast.
Y'all get ready for the AI robot. And they got these sexual robots, y'all. They're so lifelike. And they're fine-tuning them. You won't be able to tell the difference between them and a human being unless you get up real close. Not only that, but they're making the skin temperature running 98 degrees.
Really?
So you have to understand when they kill it and they bring this individual back to life as that, man, the world is going to be stunned and think, oh, the resurrected one is here. But guess what? All you got to do is look up. If you see the sun or the moon, it's AI.
That's right.
And I'm not talking about Iverson.
Yeah.
I'm talking about artificial intelligence. Yeah. Go ahead.
It says, and they worship the beast.
What they worship?
The beast.
Saying,
who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemy. And power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months.
So when you break down 40 and 2 months, y'all get to understand it as well. But this is 2 Thessalonians 2 all day. Go ahead.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven.
If you blaspheme this and say this is tampered with and holy still on your Bible coming out of the mouth of him that's saying that, that's blasphemy. You have to understand what I'm talking about. You can't have his word and say it's set apart and the next breath say it may contain a bit of sin. It's like saying Christ can be born before the marriage ceremony, and his whole, from Genesis to Revelation, is about the perfect marriage. And you say he was created in a roll in the hay in secret. Y'all, it borders blasphemy. Because he's saying his son is pure. His son is without fault or sin. And now you're saying it's a possibility based on how you believe he came into existence through sin. So now he got to have the Messiah ever quoted Psalm 51, I'm shaping in iniquity? Have we ever saw that? But you're saying if he's born of Joseph, that's what you're saying. Let's read some more.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints.
And then we just read that in Daniel. Go ahead.
And to overcome them.
And to do what?
Overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of the life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world.
See, he was slain from the foundation of the world. It was already set he had to die. See, so when you hear all this new booty talk, that foolishness, Isaiah 53 was set up, y'all killed the Messiah. It was set up from the foundation for him, life to be taken once Adam and Eve did what they said. What are they talking about, bro?
Already the plan B.
Plan B is already set up.
Just in case. It was already set.
Read some more.
Before the foundation of the world.
Verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear.
Right.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Must be killed with a sword. Go ahead.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast,
Right.
whose daily womb was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the womb by a sword and did live.
Right.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Should be what?
Killed. And he caused it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
Now, you will have these strange groups out here talking about the mark of the beast is Christianity. Well, y'all, we done already took the mark of the beast, most of us in here then. Half the world, if you done came out of Christianity, you already doomed. You can't get into this now if Christianity is the mark of the beast. We can't get nothing now according to their doctrine. See, ain't that crazy talk? Half the people you go meet, then what is they other churches trying to straighten them out for if they already got the mark of the beast? That's casting their pearls before swine, ain't it? Y'all don't make sense because they don't want this to seem literal to you. They don't want you to get your soul prepared for this, because if you do, you'll find out what they doing. You'll be like, well, how you ain't getting ready for this? You just go to work and tell human resources I'll be up there to get your check. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, someone who sent me the letter, he said it's just started, but they sent all, I'm forwarded to by, they sent this letter to all of them. They got a commission. They say, we have to watch how you spend it. And they sent them a 4-page letter. You and your wife, we need you to document how y'all getting this money. We need y'all to run that for us. They sent them that in 2014. It sent all the big boys that letter. It's not him coming to a revelation. People been telling him about Malachi 3:8 running that on the people. The government saying, we done found some errors in your contract. See, when you get that gulp look, and notice he never repented.
And he said he don't apologize.
He said, I don't apologize, because he can't apologize and not give a refund.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Apologies bring refund. If America apologized for slavery, they got to come with reparations, like they did the Japanese. So I'm not going to apologize. Hell, I go broke. I'll be like you, Negro.
No more auditorium.
No, none of that. No more of these suits.
He just said from here on out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I got enough though right now.
Yeah, I'm
I got enough. Yeah,
I'm set right now.
Yeah, well,
I don't need no more.
no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna get a Kohl's card and be getting draws from them. No, y'all going too far. You're asking too much of me. But I'm not gonna apologize. See, but notice the trick in there. He said, I don't apologize because if that hadn't happened to me, I wouldn't know the truth about tithing. Liar! So you're telling me what you did to all them flocks of people that may have died under your watch. That was all set up for them to die too, so you could come to the understanding of tithing because you made a statement, non-tithers should be taken out back and shot. So you're saying I'm not going to apologize because the revelation changed that. The scripture told you that. You're a teacher of it. It didn't have to take you to misunderstand and you get turned full circle. You're still not apologizing. You're not on your road to Damascus like Paul was. Paul went back to everybody he said he did it to, and when they saw him coming, like, here that nigga come again to kill. People like, no, y'all, I'm telling y'all, I ain't that killer no more. Ain't that killer no more. But he ain't gonna do it.
But because Paul had to go and get thrashed on.
The
thrashing he did.
3 times I was punched like this. I got hit upside the head like this. He ain't saying nothing like that.
Right.
Eddie Thong say, I got 5 rocks I'ma throw. You ain't throwing nothing. He ain't threw one yet, have you? And then let them hoist him up. And then Edomites got the ark of got the rolls of the scrolls right there, the law of God. And you got him in homosexuality, full caught on film, sending tapes to boys, and you got him hoisted up like the ark of the covenant. And he's sitting there like this after that scene. You sending photos of you in boxer shorts, biker shorts with no drawers on and a wife beater, and you sending that to a man? And then next thing we know, you hoisted up, and you got the scroll, and you got some Edomite telling you, here he is, and he's sitting like, boy, this ain't gonna be, I'm through.
Yeah, this ain't gonna end well. He knew that.
And it didn't end well.
It didn't.
Whoo, boy, because when it says pride, it comes before destruction.
Right.
Boy, it was a great fall for him.
I got 5 rocks to throw.
And
Who we gonna throw him at?
himself.
Where we at? You just get it, y'all. We gotta hurry up, y'all, because we gotta get. I want to get in that Enoch. Yeah.
Verse 17.
Yeah. Read verse 16 again.
Verse 16.
Yeah.
And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
Now, y'all, we got to be extra careful while Bill Gates is on his attack on the children of Israel. His daughter was seen on the front of the Daily Mail kissing her black boyfriend. What do you think the talk is up in the Billionaire Club?
Up in the steam room.
Up in the steam room. Little Missy is getting it.
Black Snake Moan.
Boy, Black Snake Moan. Go ahead, boy.
Verse 17. And that man might bow and say, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Right.
Here is wisdom.
Here is what?
Wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast.
Y'all, only the people that have understanding can do the count. See, you have to have understanding of the mark to count it. Go ahead, what it say?
For it is the number of a man.
What is it, the number of?
A man.
Uh-huh.
And his number is 600, 6.
Now, we had a guy call up to the radio station. He was saying, like, the number of man is 6, right? Right? We like, right what? Where you get that from? Well, man was created on the 6th day, so the number of the sun and the moon is 4 then. Do we run with that when that come up? You got your 4 sun up, dog? You got your 4 moon up. Look, because they were created on the 4th day, wasn't it? So, y'all, we can't get into numerology. It say it's the number system of a man. Take a $1 bill out right now, and you'll see the number system of this man. H will have always the number, if you count from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. If you got an H on your dollar, the number 8 should be there. So when it spells out, read what it says. Go finish that up now. That was it, 303 So it's not 6 letters in each of a man's first, middle, and last name like Ronald Wilson Reagan. He the beast. That's 666. No, that's 18. That's not 666 if you count from that way. Each letter represents a number. Nero Caesar spells out 600, 6 because N may mean 50, E may mean 500 in that number system of a man. And those numbers add up to 666. The Most High said that's how you gonna know. I'm not gonna tell it to you because you Negroes will wait till you see this individual. Who they say? Harry Johnson, Harry Wilson Johnson. The Antichrist here. What I've been doing. You'll wait till the very last minute. Learn the system of a man. If we in this system understand the number system, they don't have them letters and numbers there for no reason. That's the system. Roman numerals. Go ahead.
These Roman numerals, every letter has a numeric value.
That's right. Y'all, 14 deals with the 144,000. We went over there. But I'll tell you what, let's get 14. Y'all read 15 through 16. 15 and 16, because that gets into the pouring out of the vial of those that took the mark of the beast. So y'all, we read, don't take it. Then you get into chapter 15 and 16, it tells you this is coming for anybody that accept the mark of the beast. This was coming for you. The plagues that's mentioned, the plagues that's written, you can't outrun them. You can't go over to another doctrine and think you're going to escape them. They're coming for you. They're going to knock on every door wherever you go. They're going to be like the marshal service. They're going to be like you a fugitive.
Chapter 14, verse 9 and 10 says.
Yes, sir. We're going through 14. Y'all read 15 and 16 because we got to get to the Enoch before we close out. Go ahead and that turn if you will. Or who got it?
I got it.
Chapter 14 of Revelation.
All right. Revelation chapter 14, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 104,000.
No.
144,000.
Uh-huh.
Having his father's name written in their forehead.
In their forehead. So we got a whole nother group after the mark of the beast. Notice how this picked right back up after the Antichrist. Now I see the Messiah with the saints.
No, 14.
Let's read some more.
Verse 2. All right, verse 2.
Yeah.
And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder.
Did we just read that in Daniel? The voice of many waters and great thunder. When the Most High speak, y'all, it shake everything. It gets your attention. He ain't talking like you see they had them white actors speaking like the Messiah. Peter, James, who do men say I am? No, that ain't how it is. Boy, just same way. No, he didn't sound like that. That don't sound like a voice of rushing water do it.
No. Sound like Pee Wee Herman.
That's what it sound like. Right, truly Pee Wee. Go ahead.
It says, and I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne, and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth.
Where they come from?
The earth. These are they which were not defiled with women.
That kills that Nazarene doctrine for all them claiming that and swiveling hips late at night, don't it? Huh? Go ahead.
For they are virgins.
For they are what?
Virgins.
These are talking about men called virgins. Not cause you a man and got a virgin. No, these are men virgins. There's something called a man virgin. Go ahead.
These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men.
Right.
Being the first fruit unto God and to the Lamb.
See, these are first fruits. They follow him wherever he goes. This is when the Messiah say, will you go anywhere? He said, yeah, you will do it because you understand me. That's a disciple. I'll follow you anywhere you go. Peter say unto death. But he like, Peter, you got to get ready for the other side of this, the spiritual war. You can't take that sword into supernatural. They fight with different weapons. That's not the sword that got Lucifer thrown out of heaven. That's not what you got right there. That was made in Luther brandishing shop. That's not a supernatural sword you got on your side. I'm going to show you. He put his ear back on for him. Peter like, oh, he put his ear right back on. There it is.
Hebrews chapter 4 and 12.
That's what it is. It cuts asunder both ways, coming and going. Cut down to what life? It say down to the spirit and the soul.
Discerning of the thoughts of men and the intents of the heart.
That's right.
No, you say this tamper with, oh, you cutting this to the white meat.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
And in their mouth was found no guile.
What was found?
No guile. For they are without fault before the throne of God.
Being they're taken from men, there's a possibility. It is a possibility they sin once, but there's no fault. There's no current faults against them. They're taken from men. But if you say they had no sin, then we're going to have a problem with them being the Messiah. Fault is different from sin. Faults are my bad. fault, you may have a situation that somebody transgressed from you, and you say, I'll take the fault on that, because if I had told you that, we probably wouldn't be here. But I should have told you, but I didn't. My fault, dog, on that one. Let's read some more.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, in every nation and kindred and tongue and people.
So, and that's what the Messiah told us to go preach it to what?
Every
Has the message changed?
No.
How you got a new message or a new doctrine and it eliminates one of these groups right here? They ain't supposed to get it. They ain't supposed to know the law of God. You, what? How they gonna be your servant? How they gonna know what food to cook for you? If they ain't got no law, they gonna bring you a combination of cat dog combo with egg drop soup.
Romans chapter 9, verse 31.
Yeah.
But Israel, verse 30. Romans chapter 9, verse 30.
Yeah.
What shall we say then? That the Gentiles, which follow not after righteousness, have attained to righteousness, even the righteousness which is of faith. Verse 31.
Yeah.
But Israel, which followed after the law of righteousness, had not attained to the law of righteousness. Verse 32. Wherefore, because they sought it not by faith, but as it were by the works of the law, for they stumbled at the stumbling stone.
So right here, y'all, they stumbled at Christ, which is faith. It say the Gentiles, look, they know y'all got the law, but they believe in the Messiah. They believe in the ultimate law. Y'all can have all of the laws and the prophets, and y'all believe he was born like that. No, we got the law. We Gentiles got the law. We believe in y'all Messiah. Y'all don't. Y'all trust in the law is going to get you overboard, but y'all missing the law of faith. The deliverer of this problem that we're going through, of this dying flesh.
All you got to do is believe.
Okay. Go in.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
Saying with a loud voice, fear God, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. And worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of water. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of her wrath, of her fornication.
See, that's why we ask y'all what cup you drinking from.
Right.
You could be drinking from that cup of wine of wrath and fornication. With that cup, it comes, mini skirts come off.
Pistols come out.
Yeah. So we need to know what cup you drinking from. You may be drinking from that cup of wine and fornication. That's some cheap liquor, y'all. It don't last but less than 2 minutes.
Rock good.
What I heard? Go ahead, y'all.
Verse 9.
Yeah.
And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his right hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture.
Without what?
Mixture.
Y'all, it's straight, no chaser.
Right.
No chaser on this. Go ahead.
Not even water back.
Boy, ain't even a water back, boy. Go ahead.
Verse 10 again.
Yeah.
The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of all the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
Go.
And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever. And they have no rest day nor night.
Would they have no rest when?
Day nor night. Who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name.
Verse 12 is where we're going to stop, y'all. Y'all read the rest of that. We got to get into these books of Enoch and make sure these 3 revelators are talking the same language. Go ahead.
Here is the patience of the saints.
Here is the what?
Patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus.
Y'all see that? Give me a little bit of that Psalm 50, 1 through 4 real quick. But y'all, this is the patience of the saints that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Christ. If you don't have no faith that he's the mighty redeemer, you wasting your time, because you're going to turn to an individual that guts is right.
Say Psalms 50.
Yeah, 50, and just run them real quick. And then I want to get to this Enoch 46 real quick. All these short verses, y'all, and we should be able to get them inside this 8 minutes.
You want all Psalms?
You get Psalm 50, how many is it?
It's 3.
No, I just want them first 5. I want right where the patience of the saints. You see it?
1 through 5.
1 through 5?
That's it.
That's what I want.
All right, family, we're going to be reading in the book of Psalms, chapter 50, and we'll start the reading in verse 1.
Yes, sir.
The mighty Elohim, even the Most High, hath spoken,
Yeah.
and called the earth from the rising of the sun unto the going down thereof.
Right?
Out of Zion, the perfection of beauty, Yah hath shined. Our Elohim shall come.
What shall he do?
He shall come. And shall not keep silence. A fire shall devour before him, and it shall be very tempestuous round about him.
So when you get into Exodus 14 and Exodus 19, you'll see that same fire folding in front of us and behind us, keeping the Egyptians off us and leading the way for us at the same time. This same fire. Y'all look at Independence Day, y'all, they understand how it's going to be, but they want you to think it's aliens from another planet, monsters or something. Go ahead.
Verse 4.
Yeah.
He shall call to the heavens from above, and to the earth, that he may judge his people.
Let's see the great gathering.
Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. And the heavens shall declare his righteousness, for Yah is judge himself.
See, so there's a sacrifice in here, y'all. So when you have that bad cup that's being passed around, mocking sacrifice, or talking about shouldn't be no sacrifice, it should be only lettuce should be chewed, and that's the sacrifice. Don't you believe it?
Right.
Noah came off the mountain sin free, and he sacrificed because he thanking the Lord.
Yeah.
Isaiah 48, they sacrificed, man, their life. Ain't no sin there. The Lord need to hear and know y'all love him, because you will offer up a sweet smell for him.
And that sweet smell is the smell of obedience.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with a smoke going in his nose. It's
What
about
do that?
obedience. That's what he loves. That's the sweet savor.
Let's get that Enoch, y'all, 46th chapter. Y'all, we're going to close out. Look like right on time today, y'all.
Don't you don't talk.
Yeah. Who got it? Like, you got Enoch in there?
I ain't got my Enoch with me.
Who got it? Huh?
Enoch 46.
Who got it?
Go ahead, Theo.
Read it loud, though, Theo.
Before we start that,
1.
Yeah, read it like it's chicken in front of you.
Enoch 46.
How many verses in that? Let me run that. Y'all got it? Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Enoch 46 verse 1.
What it say?
There I beheld the Ancient of Days.
What did he beheld?
The Ancient of Days.
Where we just read that at? Did we just read that in Daniel and Revelation? Did we see? Come on.
Read on.
Hold on, everybody catching up? Everybody get caught up. Go ahead.
There I beheld the Ancient of Days.
Uh-huh.
Whose head was like white wool.
What was his head like?
White wool.
Uh-huh.
With him another, whose countenance resembled that of man. His countenance was full of grace, like one of the holy angels. Then I inquired of one of the angels who went with me, and showed me every secret thing concerning his son, this son of Adam.
This son of who?
Adam.
Uh-huh.
Who he was, whence he was, and why he accompanied the Ancient of Days. He answered and said to me, this is the son of Adam to whom righteousness belongs.
To who belong?
Righteousness.
Uh-huh.
With whom righteousness has dwelt, and who will reveal all the treasures of that which is concealed. For Yahuwah has chosen him, and his portion has surpassed all before the Most High in everlasting uprightness. Verse 3. This son of Adam, whom you behold, shall raise up kings and the mighty from their dwelling places, and the powerful from their thrones. Shall loosen the bridles of the powerful and break in pieces the teeth of the sinners. He shall hurl kings from the thrones and their dominions, because they will not exalt and praise him, nor humble themselves before him, by whom their kingdoms were granted to them. The countenance likewise of the mighty shall be cast down, filling them with confusion. Darkness shall be their habitation.
Right.
And worms shall be their bed.
What should be their bed?
Worms.
Oh.
Nor from their bed shall they hope to be again raised, because they exalted not the name of the Most High. They shall condemn the stars of heaven, shall lift up their hands against God, shall tread upon and inhabit the earth, exhibiting all their acts of iniquity, eating their works of iniquity. Their strength shall be in their riches, and their faith in God, whom they have formed with their own hands.
See, the strength, the riches in money, and the strength in the idols that they form with their hands.
Yep.
Go ahead.
They shall deny the name of God and will be driven from the houses of his assembly, and of the faithful who suffer in the name of the Most High.
Yes, it go ahead, 47 and 48, they short verses too, right?
Yeah, 47. You're not 47.
Yeah.
In that day of prayer of the holy and righteous, and the blood of the righteous shall ascend from the earth in the presence of Yah. In that day shall the holy ones assemble and dwell above the heavens, and with united voice petition, supplicate, praise, laud, and bless the name of Yah, on account of the blood of the righteous which has been shed.
See, we just read about the elders 24 around the throne. They dwell above the heavens. See, and they gonna be announcing just what we just read in the book of Revelation. Go ahead.
That the prayer of the righteous may not be intermitted before Yah, that for them he will execute judgment, that his patience may not endure forever. At that time I beheld the Ancient of Days.
Who you beheld
The
again?
Ancient of Days.
Y'all see how these three revelators titled him the same thing? See, y'all, if we call him the Ancient of Days, how somebody gonna say, you know you're supposed to say, yeah, wow, yeah. You don't say it like that, brother. You ain't got the spirit, you going to hell. How about we say the Ancient of Days? Who else you gonna even come close to?
Right.
Go ahead, brother.
Keep saying it like that, they gonna choke.
And at that time I beheld verse 3. At that time I beheld the Ancient of Days, where he sat upon the throne of his glory. The seat of the living was open, or the book was open in his presence. And all the powers which were above the heaven stood around and before him. They were the hearts of the saints full of joy, because the consummation of righteousness was arrived. The supplication of the saints heard, and the blood of the righteous appreciated by God. 48.
Yeah, so we're gonna hit 48 and we're gonna close on out, y'all.
48 verse 1. In that place I beheld a fountain of righteousness.
What did he beheld?
A fountain of righteousness.
See how we keep saying the same thing, and in that place, a river, paradise, rivers flowing into the other nations, because you have to feed all of planet Earth with the rivers that come out of Jerusalem. With righteousness. Go ahead, bro.
In that place I beheld a fountain of righteousness, which never failed, encircled by many springs of wisdom. Of these all the thirsty drink.
Of who drank?
Thirst. And were filled with wisdom, having their habitation with the righteous, the elect, and the holy. In that hour, this son of Adam invoked before Yah, and his name in the presence of the Ancient of Days. Before the sun and the signs were created, before the stars of heaven were formed, his name was invoked in the presence of Yah. See that? See, before creation, just like Hebrews say, he was the first creation of the Most High. And he was in on the rest of the creation.
Right. He created all the rest of the
creation.
For himself.
For himself. Had that power before day one, y'all. This is what we're talking about the Messiah. You keep chasing the one born in a manger, not saying that had to happen, but when you look at it from only that perspective, you miss all this over here of his omnipotence. Already been there sitting like this before Adam ever seen. Go ahead. Let us make man. Remember?
Right. How was he
been created.
Let's read some more.
All right. Verse 3 will do it again. Before the sun and signs were created, before the stars of heaven were formed, his name was invoked in the presence of God. A support shall he be, and he shall be the light of nations. He shall be the hope of those whose hearts are troubled. All who dwell on earth shall fall down and worship before him.
What they gonna do on earth?
Fall down and worship before him.
Not just some, all.
Every knee shall bow, and every tongue shall confess.
Is these revelators saying any different language?
No.
Go ahead.
All who dwell on earth shall fall down and worship before him, shall bless and glorify him, and sing praises to the name of God. Therefore the elect and the concealed one exist in his presence before the world was created and forever.
See, that's clear language. Before the world was ever created, he already was sitting on that throne at the right hand of the Father. What are they talking about, bro?
Right. They ain't talking.
They ain't talking. I hear you.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
In his presence he existed and has revealed to the saints and to the righteous the wisdom of God. For he has preserved the lot of the righteous, because they have hated and rejected this world of iniquity, and have detested all its works and ways in the name of God. For his name shall they be preserved, and his will shall be their life. In those days shall the kings of the earth and the mighty men who have gained the world by their achievements become humble and countenance. For in the day of their anxiety and trouble, their souls shall not be saved, and they shall be in subjection to those whom I have chosen. I will cast them like hay into the fire, like lead into the water. Thus shall they burn in the presence of the righteous, and sink in the presence of the holy. Nor shall a tenth part of them be found. But in the day of their trouble, the world shall obtain tranquility. In his presence shall they fall, and not be raised up again. Nor shall there be anyone to take them out of his hands, and to lift them up. For they have denied God and his Messiah. The name of Yah shall be blessed.
Read that last verse again, y'all. We're gonna close out, but read it loud and bold.
Okay. In his presence shall they fall, and not be raised up again. Nor shall there be anyone to take them out of his hands, and to lift them up. For they have denied Yah and his Messiah. The name of Yah shall be blessed.
Hallelujah. But man, just think about this. He said that those who are cast in everlasting lake shall not have any rest forever. Whereas we're working towards an eternal rest.
Yeah.
They're working to work forever in torment.
With the devil.
With the devil. Everlasting. That means
No breaks. No
Well,
breaks.
that's what Ezra was talking about. How crazy is it for you to live heavily on earth only to be punished for eternity thereafter?
Right.
Well, you gotta be super stupid.
Because you're gonna watch this transfer hands. When you get old, they can't breathe no more. And they say that anybody changes diaper, those are coming with all the riches. And guess what comes after that too? They with the worms in the lake that dieth not. So we're not telling you, because the scripture tells us to enjoy the fruits of your labor, but not the labor of wickedness. Because there's a reward for that. It's called working the lake of fire. Working. And it's a portion in there that they say is the greater damnation.
Yeah. Oh. So it even gets hotter than hot.
Boy, I guess that's what demons just bite on your brain.
Oh man, you almost
Let's close out, y'all. We got questions out there too about. Y'all hope that was a good feast today for y'all for understanding and put us back on point. So y'all, all we wanted to do is get the timeline together. We're into the fourth beast. We're into the fourth kingdom, y'all. We there because it talks about that beast being able to destroy man, woman, and child and produce Antichrist. That wasn't beforehand. It wasn't the one of Greece. It wasn't them. It's saying it's this fourth kingdom, y'all. We just need to know exactly where we are because the number of days are being counted. We don't want to get fooled and try to rush this kingdom. We can't rush it in. Go ahead, say
I just want to say, that's all right.
that this kingdom, the last kingdom in the vision, was more diverse than all the others.
Yes, sir.
that came before. The other kingdoms didn't have the technology that's available today.
That's right.
They didn't have all this computerized
And
technology.
harp system.
And harp system and blue beam.
To make lightning
all
come
that.
down and all of that. The sky show that they're going to see.
Yeah.
Project Bluebeam.
Yeah, or to create even
Nero
weather
System didn't
change.
have that. What you got, Sister Karen, before we close on out
I
there?
just say this. I thank the Most High for the refreshing day to day, the rain, showers us with so many blessings that we can't count. Free car wash.
Yeah.
Because of the heat.
Free grass water.
The heat and the hot flashes that I experienced.
Yeah.
And that's just a fraction of what hell is going to be like.
And just want to thank y'all, and thank y'all for the donating. Y'all, as y'all know, Nat Turner lost both his grandmothers in separate days apart. So y'all, thank y'all for y'all prayers, everything we will to our homegrown Nat Turner. I want to also send condolences out to all our sick and shut in. I want to thank you for our prayers. Our Richie home and doing well. He's doing good. To the house of Gerard. To our sister Stacy out there, Stacy Young, and her parents, both of them are recovering good. I'm on the last treatment coming in. Is anybody I missed out there, y'all, that y'all reached out to me? And also Sister Angela Wise, her brother lost his son the other day, so we want to pray for that household.
The young lady that I shared with you, 22, she died. But she had written so many letters of suicidal attempts and all this, and my daughter even lived with her and said she found drugs all in the girl's purse. But my thing is this: birds of a feather flock together. And how you gonna say you don't know? But I told my daughter, death ain't the worst thing that happens. Dying without Christ because they was talking the talk, not walking the walk. But at 22 years old, you ain't never too young or old to make sure your relationship right with our Lord and Savior before you leave here.
Hallelujah. Powerful words, sis.
All right, family, we're going to get this closing prayer. And it is with the Most High's permission. And it's in the name of His only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior, and our uncrowned King and Redeemer.
Yes, sir.
Yahushua HaMashiach. And we know him as Jesus the Christ, y'all. Long live the King. Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 143rd chapter, it reads, "Hear my prayer, O Yahweh. Give ear to my supplications. In thy faithfulness, answer me, and in thy righteousness. And enter not into judgment with thy servant. For in thy sight shall no man living be justified. For the enemy hath persecuted my soul. He hath smitten my life down to the ground. He hath made me to dwell in darkness, and those that have been long dead. Therefore is my spirit overwhelmed within me. My heart within me is desolate. I remember the days of old. I meditate on all thy works. I muse on the work of thy hands. I stretch forth my hands unto thee. My soul thirsteth after thee, as a thirsty land. Selah.
Selah.
Hear me speedily, O Yahweh. My spirit faileth. Hide not thy face from me, lest I be like unto them that go down into the pit. Cause me to hear thy loving kindness in the morning. For in thee do I trust. Cause me to know the way wherein I should walk. For I lift up my soul unto thee. Deliver me, O Master, from mine enemies. I flee unto thee to hold me. Teach me to do thy will, for thou art my Elohim. Thy spirit is good. Lead me into the land of uprightness. Quicken me, O Yahweh, for thy name's sake, for thy righteousness' sake. Bring my soul out of trouble. And of thy mercy, cut off mine enemies, and destroy all them that afflict my soul. For I am thy servant.
Oh, praise God. Thank y'all. One love to the family. Thank y'all for y'all continued support, y'all. It's greatly appreciated, y'all. We'll keep the lessons coming, y'all. One love, y'all.
Oh, praise one love.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
God.